ready, spaghetti?
I think we are.
There we go. Welcome back, everyone, to another game. How was the week? Or two of them, I guess. Anything exciting happen?
Summer.
Yeah?
My brain's been off. And continuing to be off.
I binge played 100 hours of Stardew Valley over the course of a week.
God.
Cool. Baller talks?
Yeah. It's normal.
How about you, Andrew? What have you been even doing?
We've been sitting alone in Pressure's Love Shack.
I'm just living.
Have you
Fuck,
just been
I'm
playing
depressed
Magic and
now.
stuff?
Yeah.
Since you don't play like video games anymore, what does your day consist of?
Crying.
Interview. Let's move on.
Oh.
Good talk. Well, you guys did stuff in D&D recently, and I guess we'll just go back to that. So, last time, you guys made it into a little town off of the main road in an attempt to get some food and a little bit of sleep and take some refuge from the wilderness. And you were only there for about a day before you decided that this place might not be a good area to hang around, though there was definitely a little bit of disagreement on that as things developed, and it ultimately culminated in one of your party members being horribly disemboweled and destroyed in a fighting match. Now, the three of you, since that horrible event, have gone off towards the tavern and have headed off to sleep. And when you guys wake up, that's where we pick up. So, as you guys wake in your little rooms in the Barley Bloom Tavern, what do you want to do?
Well,
Am I dead?
No, you do wake up.
Okay.
I get up. I'll go knock on. Fuck! I forget everybody's name. Draken's door.
Okay.
Draken.
Two
more.
more times!
Draken. Draken.
Alright, come in. I'm getting the door. I fucking unlock the door and let him into my closet.
Sure.
Well, the night went alright. Nothing bad happened.
I'm not dead, despite not having chalk. Is Jesse alright?
Well,
Jesse!
we'll saunter over to Jesse's door. Jesse.
Yeah.
Jesse. Jesse.
I'll open the door as he's knocking on it.
Sure.
I'll continue knocking on it as he opens the door.
Yes, VP.
Oh, he's not dead. Is there anything wrong with him, BP? Can you tell?
Nope, he looks like a normal, fleshy human. Everything seems to be normal.
You have to describe things as fleshy.
Well, you're fleshy and very bony. Oh, and old. Anyways,
Well, I suppose our next action is to leave.
Did we ever get fucking Jesus' armor like he told the guy to give?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of you should have it in your inventory.
I don't remember.
I don't remember getting it.
Oh, okay. Well, upon leaving, it would be handed over to you.
Okay.
How many?
And who was holding that?
Ever want
Is it-
to be
is
a
it in
knight,
good-
Jesse?
Is it in good condition?
Yeah. It's a set of splint mail that is a little battle-worn, but you could probably still sell it for most of its value.
Permeating with Hispanic juices.
Smells like chorizo. I can't wear this.
I'm already
Neither
encumbered.
can I.
I'd prefer to not.
Should we just go sell it and then leave?
That sounds like a great idea.
Wait, did this come with all the rations?
Oh God.
I peek inside the chest
he
plate.
gave it to us. He gave it to us.
Yeah, he gave us the rations before he did. Before.
Oh
the plate.
god. Oh god, I'm so overweight. I am many pounds over.
Big boy.
Me too.
Maybe we trade the splint mail and buy passage out of town.
Are there any?
Fuck, what were they called?
Caravan?
Bus.
Caravan.
The bus.
Buses. I would like to purchase a bus ticket or a season pass.
This
The bus
isn't
is
Call of
broken
Duty.
this year.
I think. Alright, so we're heading into town to go sell armor, yes?
Correct.
Okay.
Alright.
The three of you head out and leave the tavern and wander off towards the market. It's early in the morning, and as you guys go over there, you eventually get to that really busy sort of city center. And there's a couple of different areas that you could go with this thing. Do you want to go to like the weapons shop from before?
Yeah, we'll go to that guy.
Sure. Give me 2 seconds. So you guys wander into that little shop, and once again are brought to the realization that not everything is all that common here in Yule. And, you know, the shop that you end up in is basically leather armor and weapons and whatnot, and the splint mail that you have is completely unique to all the other stuff. Let's see here. Perfect. So, as you come up to the shop here and go to ask if you can sell it, you do get a price. I would like somebody to make the first roll of the evening and do a luck roll.
Who is doing the talking here? BP, you're a master tradesman. Go.
Well, good sir, I have a great deal for you. A unique and great set of splint mail armor.
Oh,
16, baby.
oh, right. I need to do my rolls.
He looks at it and says, well, nobody here is going to buy armor like this, but it is in good condition. Maybe the next set of traders that come through. I could buy it from you.
I'm cured!
What happened? What?
My injury check!
Oh. You wake up and you are, what was it? You had a
I
hobble?
have blurry vision.
Blurry vision, right. Your eyes are rapidly improving throughout the day.
Whoa! I
Now,
don't need glasses anymore.
you get offered 80 gold for the splint mail.
Oof.
You know. Yeah, whatever, that's fine.
He smiles and takes the armor and hands you a sack of 80 gold, which you can add to your inventory, BP.
I hand the 80 gold to Jesse.
Okay.
Pretty rich.
Nobody need anything for the road.
Don't steal it all in one place.
Remember, it's gonna be quite dangerous, seeing as though we're not gonna have stagecoach travel.
Yes, honestly, I don't know if we could find passage out of this city. I haven't seen particularly many people leaving.
Oh, we're still in the shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. One more second of your time.
Sure.
What day is it?
Oh, it's the 7th.
Good to know, good to know. And are there any caravans in town?
Oh, I'm gonna roll luck.
Big D20. Baby.
He says, I've seen a couple. Yeah, I think so.
Good to know. Thank you, thank you.
He gives you a nod.
We want
So-
to see if we can buy passage on one of those caravans out of town. Probably be safer.
True, but you're gonna miss out on killing something. Well, big something, you know?
That's up to you. I'll do either way. I just
We
want
should-
out of town.
We should probably take a caravan. So, I guess we'll go check the trading district.
As you wander through the market, it doesn't take you very long to find the stables, which are just a little bit outside, and there you can see what looks to be a number of these different little land ships that are all set there with their horses and ready to go. Some of them are quite heavily laden with different little boxes and luggage that's been strapped to the side. One of them is being unloaded, while another one looks like it's being packed up, ready to go soon, perhaps. And all of these caravans have a whole bunch of different stagehands that are kind of busily putting things on and getting stuff ready, as well as a very large guard contingent. There's a lot of soldiers that are standing around these things.
Does the one being packed up, is it looking more mercantile or is it looking more people oriented?
It looks like a merchant's. Like, a lot of the stuff on this side doesn't look like luggage that someone would bring. You see, huge rolls of cloth and bushels of food, things like that.
Maybe we can sell swords for this man.
Well, if you find any of the caravans are going to Solsland or maybe Kazatov, Volyu or Co, any of those would be acceptable. Though Kazatov and Solsland probably the best.
Well, let us go check.
We'll saunter over. Do we see like a head? Is there like a man dressed well, or do they all look the same?
You see what looks to be a very wealthy merchant who is getting the one that looks like it's on its way out all set up. And if you approach him, you see he's kind of standing there eating an apple and turns to face the group. Hey!
Hello, good sir.
And I'll send my gun hand to a handshake.
Pleasure. You are?
My name is PP. These are my friends, Draken and Jesse.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Hello.
Valden's the name. What can I do for you?
Well, we are looking for passage out of this town. Looking to get out fast.
Safety in numbers,
And seeing as though we are experienced mercenaries, we were thinking maybe we could join you and your caravan for protection.
Well, I've already got enough people hired on for protection, but some extras couldn't hurt. Can't say that I can pay you much, though.
We're not looking for that much of pay. Also,
We're more so just looking to, have somebody to travel with. It's not safe in low numbers. We can handle ourselves in a fight, but, well, the wildernesses are not to be tested.
Okay. I could swing a deal like that. Safety in numbers and all, like you said. But I don't just take on any company.
What do you mean by that?
Any of you wanted by the law?
nope.
Not I.
If
Not
anything,
I either.
Please make a deception roll, Jesse.
Oh, come on.
I believe in you.
He rolls a...
Can I give him a 1 on insight?
yeah,
whatever
you
his
rolled a
roll
1?
is? No, he rolled a 1. Can I give him a 1 on my... Yeah, I rolled a 1 from one of divination checks.
Sure, yeah, you could do that. Let's see if Jesse gets a 1.
I believe in you.
Okay.
Oh!
Okay.
21.
He looks over, kind of blinks for a second, and then sneezes, and he goes, alright, yeah, we leave in like an hour.
Also, where are you headed?
Oh yeah, we're headed out to the west there. Got some goods I'm gonna be selling over in Solsland.
Yes.
Oh, conveniently where we wanted to go.
Well, You're welcome to come with. You got your own
Yep.
food, I trust?
Yep.
You could
Alright.
argue too much.
What did you say?
You could argue too much.
Oh, okay. He turns and says, okay, well, no other complications? Because if anything happens there out on the road, we're just gonna ditch you.
It's fine. It's fine.
That is fine. It
Okay.
is understandable.
He extends a handshake to you, BP.
Handshake with my gun.
Everyone knows Valdon's word is always good. I'll see you in an hour. Alright?
Ink time skip.
I'll help pack stuff on if there's anything that needs to be moved.
Oh, sure. The other stagehands here are basically just like little commoners and whatnot that are busily packing stuff up, and you walk up and kind of join them and tell them, you're going to be traveling with the caravan, and before long you're packing up the thing as well.
What's the rest of the mercenaries look like? Just like normal? Is it a mix of people?
The mercenaries that he has with him look like a bunch of Mace Legion members, and the rest look like just a bunch of, like maybe, like farm boy kind of commoners. Now, while they're doing this, and, BP, you step over to help, Jesse and Draken, what are you going to do?
I am probably going to find a place to sit and hang around near the caravan.
Sure. Yeah, you just find a bench nearby and wait it out.
I will as well.
Okay. BP, since you're carrying the most, you do a bunch more lifting and help everyone here. And just a little bit before an hour, the caravan master comes by and inspects everything. He looks over every little bit that's been strapped to the side of the caravan and whatnot, and eventually calls up all the men. And when he does, he has them kind of grouped together, and he calls for you guys as well.
Go and join in.
When I was like helping move stuff around, is his supply, is it like just normal general type store stuff, or do I see like anything
Weird?
Yeah.
Luxury goods.
Make a investigation or perception check. Your choice.
We'll do investigation. Oh, it's not too good. 6.
Most of it is pretty packaged up, and you would feel, you would have to, like, unravel some things or tamper
okay.
with stuff to see what's in it, basically. Like, everything's kind of got its own container.
Just doing cursory glances.
Okay. So with that, he rounds you all up. Alright then, we're headed out west. You lot have been with me for a while, you know what to expect. For you guys, you're new, just stick to the caravan. We move by day, sundown we camp, just by the roadside. Don't move too far.
Will do.
Alright. Let's load up then. And he goes over and gets onto the front seat, and the others seem to take their spots, and most of the mercenaries just kind of hang around, and before long, the horse starts to move, and it goes at a trotting pace. It's not fast, so you can easily walk beside the caravan, and it seems that that's kind of how things are here. It's just a simple little stagecoach where most people are just walking alongside the thing. Now, as you guys are headed out of town, let's see here. It is early in the morning, and the sun has risen over the horizon just a little while ago. You don't get very far outside of town before something strange happens.
Oh.
Now, you guys have been in Yule for a little while, and for the most part, there's been all sorts of secrecy and allusions to things that you don't fully understand, people who have acted strange. You've seen odd groups of people wandering out into the middle of, into the middle of the forest. You've seen peasants that have given you like little strange mementos and rumors of people disappearing and whatnot. And when you guys go out and leave the town, you barely get an hour away before the whole caravan comes to a stop, and you see why. Because in front of you, it looks like there's a procession of these people who are kind of crossing the road, and you see they're all wearing those familiar kind of monk robes that you had seen before. And the caravan master, kind of pulls things to a halt and just gets everybody to wait for a moment. Do you guys do anything?
Is this the same that passed us when we were talking outside here?
Yeah, they look like they're wearing the same uniforms and everything.
I'll lean over to one of the mercenaries, do you understand what is happening?
He shakes his head. Beats me. Weirdos.
Yep.
Now I'd like the three of you to make a perception check.
I don't got blurbish no more.
I got another 4.
Nice.
I think that's
a 10.
Okay.
16.
16. The three of you are standing there with the rest who are waiting, and it seems that instead of calling for them to get out of the way of the road as they're crossing from one side to the other, the caravan master deems maybe we'll just wait here, and he calls for you guys all to wait. And they're going by, and the guards kind of just start chit-chatting and everything as this line of people single file across. And at one point, while you guys are kind of chit-chatting, Draken, you notice something weird about the people going across. One of them looks notably different to the rest. Some of them are wearing bows and arrows with them, and they have the sickles that seem to be common for the guards. And you see somebody who walks by who has that kind of gear instead of the monk robes, and he looks exactly like Jesus.
I didn't see anything. Nope. Eyes are still blurry. I do nothing with that.
Okay. Eventually the procession moves by, and the caravan starts up again.
Lean over to Draken. What a bunch of weirdos, right?
A bit weirder
on
than
walking.
weirdos. A bit more frustrating, too.
Travel goes okay for the first bit. I need someone to make a luck roll, please.
My turn. 15? 15.
When you guys make your first camp, you're about a day outside of town, and you're in this strange wood again that has this awful air of it that just feels kind of like you're in a dream. And when you kind of stare in between the different pines and boreal trees for too long, your vision kind of draws into it almost, and you find that it's almost comforting to not look into the forest and to maybe avert your gaze towards the caravan or maybe the little bits of firewood and whatnot. When everybody packs up to go to bed and you guys lay down in your little bedrolls and everything, there's an interruption. And let's see here. I'm going to roll a semi-luck roll here.
D4.
Slide a luck roll.
Yeah, I'm going to be so happy to be done with these D4s.
I'll be happy too.
Now,
And just in case, let's just put this on a 4 next time, just in case it decides to slide.
right. It's the middle of the night, and you're dreaming there, BP, and while you're dreaming, you have that same dream again. And you're wandering down a path in a forest, and it leads up to what looks kind of like a well, like a hole in the ground. And there's this wreath that you see suspended on the surface of the water. And what's strange is this time in your dream, you feel like you can act, and it feels remarkably lucid.
How deep is the well?
The well is perfectly black, like you can't see the bottom at all.
Is there like a familiar wreath nearby?
The wreath floats on the center of the little well here.
Can I grab it?
Sure.
Go and grab it.
When you reach out and go to grab the wreath, you see what looks like an image underneath the water, and it looks like some sort of aquatic creature coming up through the darkness, approaching you before your hand even touches the thing.
If I pull my hand away, does it go away?
No, as you pull your hand back, you watch as it continues to rise at a steady pace. And I want you to make a perception check.
If it looks like it's gonna grab that wreath, I want to beat him to it.
Okay.
That would be a 21.
Okay. As you reach over and kind of bring your hand and then see this thing approaching, you notice that it looks very familiar, and you realize that it's like Jesus' corpse that's slowly floating up from underneath the water, like a submerged log that's finally coming up to the surface.
Can I grab the wreath still?
Sure. You go ahead and grab a hold of the wreath before this object can even get to the surface, and then you wake up in the middle of the night.
Do I look around? Do I have a wreath in my hands?
No, you don't have a wreath in your hands.
Did the road that I was traveling in the dream, is it familiar to me right now at all? Or am I completely unknown?
When you look around, you see what looks like a dirt path nearby in the forest that looks like something from your dream.
Ooh boy.
Can I just walk to the entrance of it? Like, still near the camp, but
Sure.
looking into the dirt road?
There's a couple of guards that are still awake in the evening here, and there's a little fire that they're seated at and everything. And when you get up and wander over towards the edge of the forest, some of them look at you for a moment, but nobody stops you. And when you step up towards the trees that sort of line the sides of this dirt path, it's almost like the trees extend further down. Like you're looking at the path, and then it's like three-dimensional aspect gets stretched further away into the darkness. And it feels like you're staring at the vision from your dream from before. In fact, the longer that you look at it, the more you're sure that this is exactly where you were.
Is there any, like, I'll go to one of the guards that are still awake.
Sure. One of the Mace Legion looks at you as you come over. He's got a blade that he's got out with a little stone that he's rubbing along the edge of the metal.
Hey, has anybody traveled in that direction yet?
Pointing at the dirt road.
No, nobody leaves the camp that much. I don't think anybody wants to wander into the woods at night.
Thank you.
He gives you a nod. And then, as you step away, he goes, hey, question.
Yeah.
So do you guys, like, eat or anything?
Nope, not at all. I'm just a robot. Don't need to breathe. Don't need to eat.
Huh.
And I open up my chest full of rations.
But I can store things for friends.
Literally a trash can.
He looks over to one of the other guards and he goes, you owe me 2 silver. And he kind of like looks and stares at your body as you have the fridge door open, and he looks over and he just like throws 2 silver pieces to him and then kind of prods at the fire.
Why would you think a robot needs to eat?
The other guy looks at you and goes, fuck if I know. Everybody eats.
Okay.
Well, it's
Well,
not. Look, guy, it's not like you're big and round, so we thought you'd be hollow. So I thought it would be like a big stomach in there.
Nope, kind of just like a trash can in here.
like tapping the metal on the top.
The two kind of chuckled to themselves.
It was good talking to you. I'll be back.
One of them nods and then kind of goes back to looking at the fire.
Actually, my character's like passed out of sleep.
I'm gonna go poke at Jesse.
Sure, your two companions are asleep, and you decide to go and rouse one of them. You find Jesse and give him a nudge, and Jesse, you wake up to BP next to you. It's the middle of the night.
Nudge, nudge, nudge.
Jesse,
Nudge, nudge, nudge.
Jesse,
What?
Smashing his face.
What is it?
I am having bad dreams.
I'm afraid I don't know how to help you.
Well, they're really creeping me out. See, in my dreams, there's a dirt road that leads to a well. I've been having this dream for a few days now while in this place. And I feel like that dirt road is right over there.
And I point to the dirt road.
Well,
I don't only feel it, I am for sure that it is the same road.
are you saying that you want to go?
I am. Yes.
Wait, yes.
What about Draken? Aren't we trying to go to Solstice?
Well,
In my dreams, can I recall how long I traveled down the road, or is that too misty?
I would say that it's really tough to tell because your dream is sort of beyond time. You feel like you just wander it for a while, and then at some random point, you realize that you're actually standing in front of a well.
I don't remember how long the road is, but it doesn't seem that long to me.
If we go down this road and abandon this caravan, we might have to leg it the entire way to Solstice.
There's a lot of night left. I don't think they'll be leaving anytime soon. I can understand if you do not want to venture down the road, especially with recent events. But
Is it like dark? Or is it just a regular path?
It
Is
looks
there a
like a
moon in this
dirt road,
world?
and it's lit ever so gently by the little bits of starlight and the nearby fire, so that you can see maybe like 10 feet down it. And past that, it kind of becomes the sort of darkness where you need to pause and look at everything before you can start to see where you're going.
these dreams seem very unsettling. I'd like to get to the bottom of them.
I suppose I'll go with you. I don't mind, as long as we don't abandon the caravan.
Should we wake Draken? He seems pretty deep asleep.
Somebody poops nearby.
If you think he needs to be there, keep in mind we're both pretty encumbered with all these rations.
And just drop like 60 rations on top of my sleeping body and just like, yeah, he'll watch it.
I'm gonna put a bunch of the rations. Sorry, I'm gonna put all 34 of my rations in my sleeping bag for now.
Sure.
Like a mini trash can.
Trash can for my trash can body.
Okay, Jesse. Draken seems really knocked out. I don't think this will be dangerous, so nothing to worry about.
Alright, I'm coming.
Completely doesn't mention, oh, there's also a corpse in the well.
Hush, 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 hush,
That's
hush, hush.
again.
Shh, 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 shh. Jesse, do you have a torch on?
No.
I go over to my mercenary friends.
Okay.
Hey, one of you got a torch?
Yeah, here you go. And he kind of lights
Thanks.
one at the fire and hands it to you.
Thanks, bud.
I'll throw him a silver.
Sure, he
We'll,
takes it.
We'll be right back.
I'll light the torch on the campfire.
You hear the two of them
Yeah.
talking as you guys leave, and they're kind of being hush-hush, but you can still hear them. And one of them says, I think he's gone down that path over there. And the other one goes, you know what? I bet you he's gonna eat. I don't think... And the other guy just kind of starts chuckling to himself as you guys wander.
Nope, still don't need to eat.
Okay.
He's for sure going to eat.
But he's gonna take a piss too.
Let's follow. Find out.
I wonder if he shits out gears.
Now, as you guys approach, the torchlight casts itself down the path and reveals, roughly about 30 feet away from you, maybe a bit more in dim light. And it goes just like a straight path, almost like the trees were arranged in such a way. And it's odd how you didn't really notice this from before, because the rows that the trees are in, you know, it's kind of startling. Like, it really looks man-made.
See, doesn't it look suspicious?
Jesse, as you stare down the path, there's an odd effect, and it looks almost like the rows of trees that go down the path sort of extend and start to pull away from you, like it's elongating.
Cue spook music.
Oh my god.
And it goes into some darkness past where your torch can see, and it just looks like the trees are kind of getting longer and longer, and then you blink for a second, and it looks normal.
Huh. I can't say I feel too good about this one, BP, but I'm willing to go with you.
You know, I have an inkling to agree with you.
I look back at Draken. Still just passed out.
Yeah, your 3 sleeping bags are over there, and, you know, one of them's empty, the other one's stuffed with rations, and one has an elderly man in there just snoring away. Or killing a
Oh my
llama, I don't know.
It's not the noise I was trying to make, but that's what came out.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
Ah,
Well, we'll start walking down the path, right, Jesse?
yeah, we're exploring.
You guys start to wander down the path. You get maybe 10, 20 feet away, and then the torchlight changes a little bit. Like, you realize that the ambiance of the camp behind you has kind of left you guys, and now you're relying more so on just this solitary light that you have with you. And as the place kind of darkens a little bit, though not enough that you can't see your way forward or back, you hear what sounds like some wings taking flight from a nearby tree.
Just like a bird.
Yeah.
Do I see the bird?
Oh, yeah, make a perception check.
Shoot it on reflex.
6.
You look over there, and you see what looks like a branch that's kind of moving there, almost as though that was where the thing is, but it must have taken off too fast for you to catch it.
We still see the camp in sight, right?
Yeah, if you turn around, you see the camp off there in the distance. The little fires with the mercenaries and whatnot, and the little wooden box that is the caravan.
Well, we'll continue walking forward.
Okay.
Guess we could have an alert when the camp is out of sight.
Sure, so you'll periodically just kind of, like, look behind you.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys continue wandering further into the path. And as you do so, the trees continue to do this effect. Both of you see this as you're walking forward. It looks like them kind of like moving further away from you as the path elongates. It almost feels like you're moving on a conveyor, like you're, you know those like flat conveyors in the airport where you start like moving faster and everything? It feels like that, and the trees are kind of like going by faster almost.
We're going faster forward, or we're like
Yeah.
stuck on our track? Do I feel like the camp is going further away at a faster pace?
Yeah, at one point you stop, and you know when you feel this effect, you turn and look behind you, and it looks like, oh, the camp's actually pretty far away. Did we walk that far?
Jesse,
Yes.
does it feel like we're sprinting?
It definitely feels like something unnatural is happening on this path or within these trees around us.
Should we turn back?
I would say that's a good idea, but if you really want to know it's down here, then we can keep going.
You know, my curiosity wants to know what's at the end, or if it's the same thing in my dreams. But fear is creeping.
Aren't you scared that you might have these dreams again for the potentially rest of your life?
That would suck.
Just a constant reminder of your friend that died? Yeah.
Slowly but surely, just hates certain kinds of people.
You're right, Jesse. I don't want these dreams anymore. Let's continue forward, but if you feel like turning back, tell me.
Will do.
We'll continue walking forward.
Okay. As you turn to move forward, once again, this effect happens. After maybe 5 feet, you begin to feel like you're moving considerably faster. It seems like a fraction at first, like 10%, then 20, then 30, and soon it feels like you're moving at double speed. The trees are practically whizzing by at this point. You hear the sound of multiple birds that take flight. Are you guys going to keep going?
Can I see any of the birds?
You can make a second perception check.
Natty one.
You look to go and see, and, you know, turning in the direction of these sounds, it's so difficult because when they take off, it's from trees that are practically whizzing past you. And when you go to look and see what is over there, it's just a sound that's gone past, and darkness, and the torchlight attempting to flicker over the sides of the trees and barely being able to illuminate anything.
We'll continue going forward.
Okay. You turn away from the trees and look forward, and the both of you notice that things seem to be slowing down. The speed at which the trees whip by starts to approach the normal velocity, and as this happens, the edge of your torchlight reveals something blocking your path. No longer does this trail of dirt lead up into some unknown abyss. Instead, there's an object, a circular stone raising, and you guys realize it's a well.
Is this what you were talking about?
Yes, there was a well at the end.
Now the well here looks the same from your dreams, though it's tough to see on this sort of dim light at the edge of the torch that you've got there. However, despite being so familiar, there is something odd and different about it. You see what looks like objects that have been placed around it. Like there's something sitting on top of the well, almost like maybe the size of a small chest or something like that, or maybe it's like a small animal, but there's some sort of object, multiple objects, seated on top of the well. They don't seem to be moving, though.
Can you tell what those things are? They weren't in my dream.
I can't really tell what they are at all.
You can make a perception check while you squint there, Jesse, if you want.
It is a 5.
Yeah, you kind of step forward a little bit and look closer, and yeah, you can't tell. You're gonna have to get up towards it.
Is the does this look like a clearing we're in, or is there like a circle of trees that this is opening up into?
It looks like this. So, if that's like the path, then you have like these trees here and everything.
Oh, it's just in the road, basically.
Mm-hmm. You guys would be like right about over here.
Well, do you want to go look at it together, or do you just want me to go? Or do you want to go?
We should let's stick together.
Well, I guess we'll both approach at the same time.
Sure. The two of you draw closer, and right before you're about to step off of the road, the objects are well enough illumined that you can tell what they are. You see what looks like a pair of boots that are there right beside the well. And you realize another one looks kind of like maybe a knife or something. It's kind of blade that's laying there. Another bit looks like, well, it looks kind of like a bow. It's like crescent shaped, sort of.
Are they like the same cosmetics as the one in, I already forget the name of the town. Pool?
The same cosmetics? Oh, it does kind of look like the stuff that they wear there.
Is it a nice bow?
Is it a nice bow? It looks like it's in fine condition.
Do I recognize these from anywhere, or are they just, general and mass-produced?
Yeah, they don't seem specific or anything.
Now, these weren't here before.
And take a few steps closer?
Sure.
I guess we'll go right up to it now.
As you step over, you can't quite see into the well, but you can see at the top of the stones here, and you see what looks like something very, very familiar. There's a set of leather armor laying there, as well as some sort of quiver that has a bunch of arrows in it. It looks like it's made out of like an animal hide or something, maybe the same material that the armor is made out of. And you see what looks like 2 sickles that are there, as well as a short bow. And there's like the pair of boots there and some basic clothing.
These are just familiar to the guard wear?
Yeah, it looks like
Cool.
a guard's uniform.
Looking into the well, is there the wreath?
No, in place of the wreath, you see a man's floating body and see what
Oh.
looks like Jesus there. And he has his eyes open, and he looks otherwise normal, except it looks like he's breathing, like he's still alive there, like laying on the top of the water, and his eyes are green.
Jesse,
Yeah.
there's Jesus.
Like, is he in the well, like at the bottom?
He's floating on the top of the water. He's maybe like a few feet down into the well. Like the well water is a lot closer to the surface than most wells would be. It's kind of like a pool more than anything.
Like, could we make an effort and get it out? Like, is that even possible?
Sure. Yeah, you could reach for him.
Oh, like he's within arm's reach.
I think he's just like right at the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it looks like you could just reach out and touch him there, and his chest heaves like up and down, like he's breathing, and he just stares up at the like up into the sky.
Hey, Zeus. Hey, Zeus.
Is there any recognition?
Jesus's green eyes turn and look at you. BP. The pack has returned to me. I move to get out of the pool of water.
The body turns and moves, and you watch as Jesus moves over towards the stone and puts his hand on it and crawls out of the well. It looks like he's wearing basically just undergarments, which are completely drenched with the water.
Hey.
I'm gonna. If he's moving out, I'm stepping back.
Okay.
Hey, Zeus. Are you? You sound different. You look different. This isn't a Zeus.
No, this is not Jesus. My new name is Jesus Treebeard.
Well, at this point, the gun's drawn.
BP pulls out his gun and points it at you.
Be at ease, boy. I am still the friend that you once had.
I do not believe this fact. Jesse, please take a few steps back.
oh yeah, I'm like with.
Stoops are large steps. Take a few stoops back.
This is stoops.
You guys step away.
Ben.
You're right to be cautious in this wood.
We
But
saw
I assure
you.
you, I mean you no harm.
At this point, you've made it up onto the top of the well there, and as you place your hands on the stone and kind of crawl out of the waters, your hand lands on some sort of object that's there on the well, and as you look down, you see what looks like the holy implements of the people of Yule that are just kind of laid out there, almost in like a half crescent at one side of the well. You see armor there, you see the 2 sickles, there's arrows and a bow.
Why would a Zeus be here? We saw a Zeus torn asunder.
What does his body look like? Is it like the way he was left at the arena, or like perfectly fine?
His body has certainly seen some damage. As you look towards him, the portion of his face where his eye was like torn out and everything has a huge scar across it. And his chest, although partially covered by the cloth here, which is only slightly see-through there, you can see that there's like a huge, like horrid scar in the place of where that rib injury was. And his arm as well, which was torn off, has just like a solid ring of scar tissue that goes all the way around it. And his eyes, given that his eye was, or sorry, not both of his eyes, but the one that was torn out, looks like it's all green instead.
There's no white, it's all green?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Green Lantern.
Shut up, dude.
What's the ultimate?
Killtension.exe. Well played.
So,
I begin to adorn myself with the ritual objects of the Yule.
Sure. The man from the well starts to take the objects, putting on the leather armor, grabbing the sickles and putting them into like the little hoops around his belt. Grabs the bow and looks at it.
Why would you be in my dream? There are many questions here.
Perhaps I can provide some answers, but I'm sure many will remain, just as you say, questions. The forest is indeed a strange place. The gods who roam these woods, strange creatures. But I have embraced them.
By that, do you mean they give you life again? Because that's...
Having donned everything, I turn now to BP. And I say, yes. The gods of the forest offered me another chance at life. Had I wished, I could have passed on to the afterlife. But I felt my time had not quite come yet.
Is this at a price? Is this at a price? Is this a temporary life? A evil life?
As BP asks this, you get a sense. It's almost like a sixth sense there where you feel there's an entity behind you, Jesus, and it's like you know there's a nature spirit nearby.
I turn and look over my shoulder with my green eye.
You don't see anything there, but as you stare towards a cluster of trees, you can practically feel that there's something there. It's like it's just watching you.
I turn back to BP and I say, it is a life and it is mine, and I have embraced the gods and the people of Ul. You are still my pack, but I have a home here now.
How do we know you're even Jesus in the first place? How do we know that this isn't just some person? How do we know this isn't some sorcery?
I get down on one knee so that I'm just under eye level with Jesse. And I say, do you really believe that they could create some kind of mimicry of me?
Absolutely. If they have powers to corrupt my dreams.
Let's see, we've got a dead Mexican who's come back to life with a completely different personality and a completely different voice and accent, and yet we don't think they can create something from scratch?
Get out of here, sleeping.
They turned you into a werewolf before, or they turned our friend Jesus into a werewolf. What's stopping them from making them a werewolf?
Well, boy, your memory is as bad as your eyesight. I was turned into a goat man in the arena, torn asunder by another who was turned into a minotaur. But now here I stand again before you, ready to continue the journey.
What mountains were you from, Jesus?
I never told BP that to begin with.
Did you not? Fuck.
Well,
What's your favorite type of quesadilla?
Enchilada Mountains.
Carne asada.
Oh yeah, carne asada. Not carne asada. Have you been there, small baby bot, who has not even experienced yet a full year of life?
still remember the facts about I, but...
Once, I walked this world known as Jesus. A Goliath who delighted in tearing his enemies apart with his bare hands. Long ago, I met the companion Draken Cade, who you travel with, but who is, for whatever reason, not present. And me and him went on many adventures, slaying demonic creatures and such, until my back was broken and I had to return home.
Now, as the two of you are there, and this strange thing, perhaps an abomination from the well, turns to you and speaks, Jesse and BP, both of you feel like you are no longer just three here alone in the woods. You feel like there's something nearby. It's just like, the hairs on the back of your neck sort of stand up.
Can I Hunter's sense Jesus or Jesus now?
Sure. What does Hunter's sense give you?
Learn whether the creature has any damage immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities. The creature is hidden from divination magic. You sense that it has no damage immunities, resistances, or vulnerability.
Ah. He does not seem to have any sort of resistances or immunities.
Would I have still kept my cold weather?
Yes.
Okay.
So like what you would expect from a Goliath, you feel that this creature would do well in cold environments, but that's about it.
Hold on, what spells did I take? This is quite important here.
Jesus, Uchi, Rangers have like 2 spells.
Just let Jesus into your heart, man.
Just some Green Lantern looking ass guy comes out of a well and we're supposed to trust him?
He's not here to kill you, I swear.
Definitely not, man. Sickles are just for show, bro.
I will.
Well, you still seem the same. But obvious differences. You must understand that there are large amounts of non-trust here.
Sure, I can accept you don't trust me. Many things have changed since I last laid eyes on you.
You're gonna have to start giving us some information besides what you've already given us. Like, how are you alive and why are you here and who has done this for you or why?
I've already revealed to you all that needs to be revealed.
Questionable. Why? I guess many of those questions have been answered, but maybe Draken could determine if you are good.
Hey, what does the spell protection from good and evil do?
It protects you from good and evil.
Thanks. That's all we needed.
Let's see here. It protects you against aberrations, celestials, elemental, fey, fiends, and undead. It gives them disadvantage on attack rolls, keeps the target from being charmed by them, possessed by them, etc. If the target's already under like a possession or is already charmed, then they'll have advantage on saving throws to try and like break out of it.
Jesse, do you believe this?
Not at all, but I feel like we have to.
will only time tell if he is the same, well, different Jesus, still good.
We should attempt to head back to the caravan. I can't help but feel like we're not alone here, and we don't know how long it's been since we've been here, or how long it took us to get here.
In these woods, my friend, you are never truly alone.
Definitely feels that way. If you could tell your nature friends to stop haunting my dreams, I'd appreciate that.
You can feel that there are numerous entities nearby, and you three know that you are not alone.
Do I have the feeling of unease like the others, or not so much?
You don't feel threatened by the entities nearby. What you feel from being watched by them is up to you, but you can feel that that there are like spirits from the forest that are currently watching you from nearby.
We are we are traveling with a caravan now, Jesus. I don't know if you'll be accepted.
I suppose that is for them to decide.
Do we walk back, Jesse? Do we take him with us?
When you look over your shoulder, BP, and look back, it looks like the path to the camp is like 60 feet away, and you can see the fire in the distance.
Oh, like we walked about 5 seconds to get here?
Yeah.
Well,
Do I notice as well?
Yeah, when you look back there, you're like, oh, that's the camp over there. We didn't walk down here long at all.
All right, let's go back to camp, I guess.
should we maybe get Draken first?
We should tell Draken about what's happening right now, yeah?
So, do you know what? Okay, well, okay.
We'll walk back to camp.
Okay. Do you go with them?
Yeah, I'll turn and take a drink from the well.
Sure.
Pretty thirsty work being dead. And say a small prayer to these entities.
Sure. You give a couple of kind words to the forest and feel some sort of resolution with them, and notice that the entities seem to leave after that. And you feel kind of alone there for once.
I'll turn and follow my companions.
Sure. The three of you return back to camp.
I'm sure the two other men see us walking in with a 8-foot tall person.
Yeah, the two of them are kind of talking to each other, and it looks like one of them's told a funny joke because the other one's in stitches. And as the three of you come out here with the torch in hand, one of them looks over, and then he stands up from his spot, and he like beckons you over with his hand.
Wait here for a moment.
And I'll walk over.
He has one hand on his sword and leans forward when you finally get to him, and he says, "Who's that?"
It's one of our friends from. He's a part of our group.
I didn't see him from this morning.
Well, he adventured, last night, the forest, but we just found him.
Huh.
His name's Jesus. Extremely nice guy.
He looks at him in disbelief.
Pretty terrifying, right?
As long as he doesn't cause any trouble. He's with you?
Yep, good in a fight too.
And as he's looking at him, he looks like he's about to walk back and take his seat, but he pauses and says, he looks like one of the locals. Did you pick him up from town?
No, but I know he liked it here, so maybe he picked up some mementos.
Huh. He nods for a moment, and it looks like that kind of puts his fears aside, and he turns to leave and sits back down at the fire.
If BP could have a sigh of relief. I'll walk back.
Okay.
Yep, they're fine with you guys being here, or you, Jesus / Jesus / Tree Man.
Jesus Treebeard.
Yep, Jesus, you're all good to be here.
Jesus Treebeard.
Yeah.
I'll walk over to Draken.
I continue to sleep soundly, making strange and odd noises.
He's there in his bedroll. Exactly like that.
I'll poke at him. Nudge, nudge, nudge.
Draken.
You wake to a cold, metally appendage hitting on you.
What is it, BP? It's still late in the night. Also, 2 more times, please.
Nudge, nudge, hit.
Draken.
Nudge, nudge, nudge.
Your
Draken.
ribcage shatters.
Another injury to heal. Sick.
We found our friend.
You found who?
We,
Rubbing the fucking sleep out of my eyes.
When
we
you finish
found
that and look over, you see what looks like more or less Jesus's body, but it's been like stitched back together. It's just like horribly scarred, kind of like somebody made like a flesh golem out of him. But there he is, stands there, and it looks like he's living. And one of his eyes, the one that was torn out, looks like it's been replaced by just like a green ball.
BP, what is that?
it's Jesus. He's back.
Jesus is dead.
I'll lean into him.
Yeah. He's a little different, and I don't know if he's all the same.
It doesn't look all the same. I'd say that with certainty.
Maybe you talked to him, Jesse and I didn't have too much.
I don't know how I feel about this. I'm too tired to deal with it. I'm going back to sleep.
Wait, hold on. Fuck.
The cranky old man turns over and attempts to go back to bed.
I guess, Jesus, you're welcome this day. I don't know if the well had a sleeping bag for you. Or, hey, did you actually see a wreath when you're in there?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
There was no reef when I laid in the well.
Alright, well, then I have absolutely no idea what that was, but I guess you could say then. Everything's okay with the guards, it seemed, and Draken doesn't seem to mind. Can you just avoid killing us? I'd enjoy that.
I would never harm a member of my pack.
Okay, next question. What does it mean to be part of the pack?
It means to be his family.
Okay there. Well, I'm gonna go to sleep.
I'll just boot off in the corner.
Just go sit in the corner.
Close to Jesse.
Sure. How about you, Jesse?
I'll go to bed, I guess.
Okay. And you, Jesus?
I've probably rested enough today, so I guess I'll just stay up and keep watch with the guards.
Sure. I need constitution checks from both Jesse and BP. Actually, BP, you don't have to make one because you're a robot.
Hell yeah.
Targeting. I'm calling the bully hunters.
What is a constitution check?
Constitution saving throw.
Saving throw.
Oh.
They're really fun.
Usually mean you're
They're
That-
really fun.
That's a 1.
dying.
Jesse, when you lay down to go to bed, it's the middle of the night, and you want to get back to bed. You want to get some sleep, but you find that during the evening, you have a really hard time reconciling everything that's just happened, and you toss and turn back and forth in your bedroll for what seems like an hour or two, until eventually the sun starts to rise off in the distance and people start to get up, and you realize that you've just been rolling around in bed for hours. And you get no sleep during that night.
Oh, good.
It's time to teach Andrew what exhaustion's about.
Now, given that you've just had a sleepless night, I need from you another constitution check to see if you get a level of exhaustion. You have to get a 10 or higher on this constitution saving throw.
Nat 20.
Okay.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Canceling the other one out.
you didn't sleep at all last night, but you're still trekking. You know, you clearly got like the bags under your eyes. You might be feeling like a little frayed around the edges, but you'll be able to operate okay.
All right.
Getting up when we are like packing up and stuff, is there attention brought to our big guy?
There seems to be some talk among the guard and everything, but they don't really approach you about it. And otherwise, the caravan master, you know, he gets up and then calls for everybody to grab their gear, and it looks like they're getting ready to start moving again.
As
So-
I wake up and glance over at the corpse, I would like to pull BP to the side and ask, who the fuck is that? And why does he look like Jesus?
Well, it is Jesus, or what I can assume is Jesus.
But Jesus is dead.
Yeah, so about that. What I was told is that the nature brought him back. You should maybe talk to him, see what you can find out. But that's all I got.
Based on his eye, he looks like, I don't know, possessed. Doesn't look like a normal human anymore.
He
Well,
didn't
was
try
never
to-
human.
He didn't try to kill us in the night, so that's good.
Why is he here?
I think he's maybe wanting to stay with us again.
Surely if he was brought back to life, they would have given him a purpose.
Hey man,
Higher deities don't just do these things for free.
he was referring to his family last night, so maybe that is his purpose.
My family member is dead, so not entirely sure how I feel about that.
You go talk to him.
That sounds like a lot of effort. Yeah, I'll deal with it when he approaches me. I'll put it off for later.
That sounds like a Jacob choice, not a.
Very good choice.
I'm gonna run away from these problems. Fuck you guys.
Real shit.
Do we just? Is the day continuing on with marching? I guess.
Sure. You guys going to fast travel along here?
Hey, Jesus.
BP.
I think you should talk to Draken.
Hmm.
seeing you, don't think he enjoyed seeing you die and by a stupid decision, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Perhaps I'll have a word with him.
Your group
And
is
then
wandering alongside a number of mercenaries as the camp is packed up and the horses begin to pull the carriage. And you guys wander through these familiar woods, much less eerie as they were last night.
Did I have bad dreams or anything?
You had no dreams last night when you went back to bed. Do you guys talk at all as you wander along, or just fast travel here with the caravan?
Suppose I'll approach Draken.
Sure.
Draken.
Jesus, question mark?
Yes, it's me. The
You
same
certainly
that you
don't
used to
sound
be.
like you, especially given that my friend is dead.
I'm still your friend, old man. Although
certainly
many
don't
things
sound
have
like it, though.
changed since the arena.
Well, if many things have changed, can you truly say you're my friend now? Especially given previous circumstances where you disregarded the rest of the party's life just to a battle in an arena.
I can assure you that won't happen again.
Sounds rather reasonable. Are you sure you're Jesus?
I'm still the same man that you once knew, albeit quite different now.
Isn't that contradictory? Say you're the same, but say you're also different.
If you were not to change your hair, would you not still be the same?
While this is
I went
happening,
out.
the two of you are kind of walking, a little bit away from the group, and Jesse and BP, you guys are like closer towards the caravan, and one of the guards, it's the one from last night who looks, kind of sleepy, is rubbing like, a bit of sand out of his eye, and he walks alongside you guys and goes, "Get a load of those two philosophers."
Yeah. Old friends those two are. Really get each other, I think.
He kind of nods to himself.
Despite the fact that the philosophical conversation's all about whether he is my friend or not.
He offers you a piece of his ration, BP, and then he pauses and he's like, "Oh, sorry."
I take it and throw it in my chest.
Thanks.
He looks like he doesn't know what to say, so he just offers a piece to Jesse.
I will eat it.
This looks like it puts him at ease, and he just keeps walking with you guys.
Jesse doesn't seem evil.
I do not trust it at all.
Yeah, I don't.
It could just be some spirit that decided to take his body. Or some other druidic nonsense. Why was he in the well anyways? What was this about?
I can only assume that's a part of, if he's telling the truth, part of the major ritual thing. But maybe he's like me, just putting life back into him. I get it, but still don't trust it fully. But if it wanted to kill us, couldn't have just killed us while we were sleeping.
Not without making a lot of noise. He is a Goliath.
True. Understandable.
Are the two of you arguing about the hair bit over there?
Probably.
Probably.
So those
Is that
two-
like, do they just like go back and forth on that argument, doing different analogies
Sure.
for like 10 years?
It'd probably last 10 minutes, and then I'd be like,
I'm
Look,
sure the
Draken.
conversation would eventually end with me just telling him he's a stranger and I will treat him as such.
yeah, all right. And my response would be, you know, you're still my friend, and I'll treat you as such.
Uh-huh.
I hope you'll treat me different than you did in Nool.
And I will walk away.
Okay. The group fractionates a little bit and continues following along the caravan. And somebody needs to make a luck roll as you guys begin to move along on the road.
Go there, dead alive, man.
Dead alive, man. What a name. He's
not bad.
17.
Let's see. Okay. 2 days pass as you go along the woods. And at some point, you begin to pull away from the Wolf Peak Forest and move out into this open area, marking kind of the end of Yule. Like, it's almost like you're leaving that weird dreamlike world and stepping out into the normal area. Even though you're in the middle of the wilderness and peril could be around any corner, the guards seem to feel it too, and they seem a bit more jovial. And as you're passing by the very last trees getting out there, BP, you notice what looks like a wreath at the side of the road.
Is it the exact same?
Mm-hmm.
How big is it?
It's probably large enough that you could put it around like a human's neck.
Can I pick it up?
Sure. It's kind
Do I
of
get-
prickly and everything, but for you, that's no problem.
Look back into the forest for a sec. Anything?
The forest seems more or less empty, but you can't help but feel like there's probably something in there.
I'll rest it on top of my trash can parts around my head. BP looks a little more festive, you know?
It's like the feathers from before.
Doesn't this look good, Jesse?
Yeah, you look great.
I should get many different hats. Hats are
Like the bucket from the pirate ship.
exactly. Looked like a pirate, but now I kind of look festive.
Looks like a Christmas tree. Wonder what he'll look like next. Maybe a pumpkin.
You look like a drunk single father at a Christmas party.
Wow. I'm not gonna ask where Andrew's pulling that experience from, but
In the past few days, I'll reduce the rations, but does Jesus pull any from my chest?
Hell yeah, if you're offering.
Yeah, you'll have to eat. So,
He's
I'll-
like he'll need to eat like 800 of them, dude. He's like a Goliath.
I'll examine him closely when he, just, you know, making sure he eats.
it seems normal.
Like a trick of the light.
So, do you feel different? You have like leaves running in your blood.
I assure you, I still bleed.
Oh. So, what did change about you?
You'll understand if there's some things I can't tell you. But
Guess
largely
so.
what has changed has been my perspective on life. And those that I hold dear.
Andrew,
I'd like you to make an insight check, please, BP.
$11.
Oh, hey, it's a new day.
You feel like there's something that you're missing here, but if there is one thing that you pick up on, it's that when you see Jesus look to you and tell you that there's some things he can't tell you, you're reminded of all the times that you've been shushed over in the city of Yule and people refuse to give you information.
Mm, I hope you understand that this all doesn't sit like too comfortably with an eye. But I
I'm
guess
sure time will alleviate many of the concerns that you have now.
I hope so. I did not get to know you too much as Jesus. Maybe this new version will bring about a better friend.
We shall see, young one.
We'll be like a really shitty version of God of War, right? You'll be like the glass, and I'm like the shitty little kid. Said I'm a really fat trash robot.
Trash!
Boybot.
Boy. It's like everything. I'm the archer too, and you're like a big guy, but you guess you have 2 sickles, and I have a gun.
I'm picturing...
It's exactly the same.
I'm picturing every cutscene that I've seen of that game, but replacing the boy with a trash can.
You know, whenever you climb a chain in that game, the boy hops on Kratos' back, the trash can hops onto Jesus' back.
Oh
It's gonna
god.
be largely the same.
It's beautiful. Okay. You guys make your way out here and leave that strange forest behind forever. That odd feeling of being watched or being in a dream or the trees moving. It all is no longer a problem as you leave that perhaps forsaken place and eventually get towards a little intersection here. The group turns and begins to travel westward, and day by day by day, you guys go further along the road until your scenery changes. At some point, your caravan is moving along the road here and is traveling through what looks to be these very large and rolling hills on either side of you. Sometimes your caravan even has to go up or down a couple of them, and the ride starts to get a little bit more steep, and then suddenly you're going much faster downhill. It's a little bit different than what you're used to, having spent so long far in the east over by Hillcrest. And this is like the first time that you've been really this far west ever, BP. You've never seen this part of the world before. You've spent your entire life in Hillcrest. You've never been this far away from home. Now, as you guys are going through the hills, there's been no trouble so far, and you've been traveling for about 7 days. But I need somebody to make another luck check to see how the next bit of travel goes.
Jesse's turn.
Andrew.
During the nights we were staying out in these fields, could I have seen tracks of animals at all?
Ah, I would say yeah.
Is there anything gigantic, or does it just seem like wolves preying through fields?
I would say make a survival check. Let's see how good your information is.
I'll try to cross-check anything with the guide of Wolfram.
Ah.
That would be a 13.
So you wander around and use this book looking at different tracks that you find, and it's a really good learning exercise to kind of like match up what you've been looking at in the textbook and then to try and pair it with what you're seeing in real life. And a couple times you see some things that look pretty standard fare, like you see what looks like tracks of what must have been like a pack of like rabid dogs or something like that. You see what looks like insectoid tracks as well, but perhaps the largest of all of these is you see what looks like the tracks of a giant bear.
Giant bear.
A giant bear, yes.
Is there a section in Wolfram?
Oh. Roll luck for me. If you get a 10 or higher, there is.
Almost. It's a 5.
It doesn't seem so.
Almost.
The only thing that you see is that on the section on bears, there's a mention that they, the brown bear and the black bear are most common, but there are other types, and in that list, you see that a giant bear is sighted, and sure enough, when you're staring at this track, which looks like a overgrown bear claw, you can't help but wonder what exactly that would look like if the book had its own section on it. It's pretty large, though. Like, you could fit a few of your hands in that paw print on the ground. And those tracks you find in the hills here.
So it's nearby.
Yeah,
Can I see how fresh it is?
Back here. Oh, how fresh? What was your survival check?
13.
13? I would say that it looks like it's probably a few days old. Can't be sure.
Okay. Just taking notes of all this down. Hopefully, try to read on all the bear sections.
Sure. Let's see here. You guys travel another 2 days, gained about here, and then travel another day. And when you get to this point, you end up at a crossroads, and that guard, the mercenary that seems to like chit-chatting with you guys ever since he found out that you're not somebody that actually needs to eat and your body is basically a trash can, he chats you guys up here and there along the journey. And at the crossroads, he approaches you guys. It's the middle of the day as you four are wandering there, and he walks up to you guys, and like many times before, just kind of starts idle chit-chat with you. He says, "Hey guys, how's it going?"
Nothing much. Trying to look for these animals around here. Saw a large bear, giant bear. Or the tracks. Hopefully, doesn't come too close.
Say, I was meaning to ask, what are you guys doing after you get to Soulsland?
Looking for a lost somebody.
So you're already
Looking for
busy?
information on a ritual. The best place to do it is in the city of Arcane. Study.
Currently trying to hunt someone down.
Yeah, because you guys are adventurer types, right?
Could
So
say
far,
that.
yeah.
Okay, because, I mean, I've been doing this work for a while, but I've been thinking of maybe joining on with the group, and you guys seem pretty cool.
How battle ardent are you?
I've been in tons of scraps. Ever since I was a kid, I've been fighting.
Our group doesn't mesh well with outsiders.
Oh.
Quite the unique bunch, see?
Okay, I see.
It's less about us and more about... There'll be a lot of complications.
Okay. No, it's fine. You know, I can take a hint. But what if it was just for one job?
Depends on how quick the job would be.
Depends on the job.
Well, it's like this. I've heard that there's a great treasure in one of the ruins around here, and I was hoping to maybe get my hands on it, but I'm not gonna go do that stuff alone. You know, after this caravan arrives in Soulsland, I'm basically out of a job, so I thought, you know, I'd take the pay and go and do that. You know, we could do that, and then you could go and go off on your ways, you know.
What ruins? I lived in Soulsland for a very long time.
He kind of points off in the distance down the T intersection there, and he says, there's a set of ruins there called the City of Shadows, and I've heard that there's a few magical artifacts that are left there, and most people won't go, but I've seen, like, you know, they're not really well equipped. You guys have all sorts of gear and everything, and, you know, I just get the feeling that you guys have seen a lot.
Do I know anything about the City of Shadows?
Oh, we can make a history roll.
This is like completely out of my knowledge base, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad roll. History, that's gonna be a 9.
There are
Of course, I don't
multiple
have one.
ruins that have fallen to the erosion of time. Some have been felled by war, others have been taken by Hyprex beasts. In the case of the City of Shadows, there are stories related to the place that you can't quite remember at this time, but if there is one thing that you remember about those ruins is that they're supposedly haunted. By what, though, you just can't remember.
Alright, one final thing, since it's brought up, can I also make a book check?
Sure. See if you get the 20.
Nope.
Okay.
Sure, I wrote something about it in here.
So, I mean, if you guys are interested, magical artifacts, I've heard those sell for like thousands of gold. I mean, if we pulled that off, I could just retire now.
And obviously there'd be large creatures to hunt in a place called the City of Shadows, right?
He shrugs his shoulders. I don't actually know what's in there.
I've heard it's haunted.
Yeah, so
I
probably
don't
like ghost
know.
creatures.
Yes.
Ghosts aren't quite the creatures you can take trophies off of.
You also need special bullets for them.
Yeah, but this isn't about trophies. This is about getting rich. Come on, tell me you guys aren't interested in that. And he kind of like looks over towards the two of you that haven't really said much, like he's looking for confirmation. He looks at over at you, Jesus, and then turns to Jesse. Come on, that's a lot of gold.
I can't say I'm too interested in the gold, but exploring ruins has always been a favorite pastime of mine.
And you never know what treasure you could find, so I have some interest.
Right?
Again, though, there will be some concerns we'd have to talk about if we were to do this.
Well, hey, I mean, we got, what, like another 10 days to Soulsland or something? We can iron out the details now. I mean, we're just wandering.
It is a bit personal.
Oh. Like...
Could you?
No, you go ahead.
I don't even know your name, good sir.
Oh, remember I told you the other day. My name is, Bassam.
Pass.
Sorry, robot memory not the greatest.
Yeah, it was built by orcs. Didn't have the best memory module.
Orcs
Could you,
build things?
I point down to the insignia on my chest.
I
Just
think I
a
saw
grok.
something like that back in Hillcrest.
Exactly, my boy.
Ah. Are you guys all from there?
Well, I'm from Soulsland. But BP and Jesse here are most certainly from Hillcrest.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think some of the other boys here are from Hillcrest too.
Could you give us a moment to talk with ourselves?
Yeah, sure. And he kind of just, gives you guys a nod and then steps away.
Alright, so I'm all about getting that money. And all about getting treasure.
Not in any particular rush. Well, if we're gonna head to Soulsland anyways, I'd like to check with the Mages Guild and the cloisters there about this ritual. And then we could, take a detour.
And maybe they even know about a rogue potion maker, That's a large sign. But, traveling with bats in here is a little difficult, since we vamped out of existence.
We'll have to tell him. That is the big concern. It's a bit early to tell him. As I said, it's a rather personal matter.
It's an issue, though, that is the most glaring one.
Well, I don't personally mind people knowing, though it gets me a lot of odd looks. Now that he's known us for a while, or at least a couple of days, and it's not like they'll kick us out of the caravan for it.
We have done our work. But Clinky did tell me to not tell anybody about the whole business.
He just doesn't want you to be discriminated against. What do you think, Jesse? Should we tell him, or no? Actually, you haven't said anything about the ruins either. What's your opinion?
That it could easily be a trap, and we don't know this person at all. But on the other hand, it could also be truthful.
The boy seems... Well, he doesn't seem dangerous. Just seems like a boy.
Is he a boy? How old is he?
He looks like he's probably very early 20s. At youngest, he's maybe like 18, 19. Though he's clearly been in like a lot of scraps. He's got like quite a few scars on him. Some of them look fresh, some of them look old.
I mean,
Sure.
remember
Alright.
what the merchant man said? Doesn't like hiring anybody with too bad a past.
Yeah, you have a point. Alright, I'm willing to give him a chance. I'll go out on a limb.
Do you
Dane.
want to tell him, BP, or should I?
Then maybe we tell him at the end of the trip. Or I guess we
He
just tell him
seems like
now.
he wants to know now. It'll also give him... He won't have his hopes up if he decides against it because of our complications. Well, he won't have his hopes up for the journey. Won't have to worry about him being disappointed once we reach Soulsland.
You still interested?
Fuck.
You still interested in adventuring, Jesus?
Where the pack goes, I follow.
I don't know what that means. But
I
okay.
think the pack refers to us, such as a wolf pack, since wolves move in packs. We are like his wolf pack. Correct, Jesus?
Correct, boy bot.
Thought goats moved in herds. Strange.
Well, this seems like a good way to get some money, but hopefully we don't die. But yeah, still the boy.
We'll motion for Bassin to come to our little close circle.
He steps back, and he kind of looks like he's excitedly thinking about something. He goes, well?
Alright, Bassin. This is, again, a personal matter, and we'd appreciate it if you didn't go spreading rumors. Do you know what a great soul is?
He
You heard
nods.
the legends? Yes. Well, if you look at all four of us, that's
No
what
way.
we are.
What?
Here, you can even see the mark on my neck. We all have it. I'll show him the mark on my neck.
Yo, that's crazy.
You peek inside to my chassis, it's there. Like on the back.
He looks, and then he's like, so can you shoot, like... does that mean, like, you can, like, make magic appear and stuff? I heard
No, we
that
just-
great souls are super powerful.
we vamp out of existence for a while.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
That would be the big concern. Say we're traveling over to these ruins, and well, suddenly you're out in the woods by yourself, because God knows where we've gone. And then we appear about 2 weeks later. That's the big concern with traveling with people who are not like us.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that would be tough. How would we do that then?
Usually
Well-
they don't happen back to back. Or we had one recently before we got onto the caravan.
So does that mean you're not gonna disappear anytime soon? Is that what you mean?
From my experience and all my years of being a great soul, we'll probably disappear sometime in Soulsland.
Hmm.
And we'll be good for maybe a week or two, and then it'll happen again.
Okay, so we get to Soulsland, and then, you guys disappear for a while. I'll stay in town, and then you come find me when you're back, and then we can go. Right?
Mhm. Seems fine to me, but you need to be prepared. Just in case. It's not a safe place out here. That's why we travel in groups. You're
Yeah.
left out in the wilderness.
Well, after this job, I think I've got some stuff saved up. I might even get a health potion.
Fucking big spender.
He looks like super proud of this.
One whole health potion.
Yeah. It's been a long time, but, I try to eat light and everything, and I'll probably have enough when we get there. I get paid by the day, so I don't know how long it's going to be, but if I'm right, I should be able to get one. And I mean, it's Soulsland, right? So it's probably going to be cheap there.
Would I know prizes?
You would know that Soulsland is like a magic capital of the world. So if, there's a place where magical goods are going to be either cheap or abundant, it's going to be there.
Well, you certainly won't have trouble finding one there. Might even be able to recommend a shop or two.
Nice,
Well, it's
yeah.
been a good while since I've been home.
Okay.
Do you have... Well,
You do need to think seriously about this. What if we disappear out in the woods and you encounter Hyprex beasts? Or maybe something worse.
Maybe
we do want
right.
to adventure with you, but we don't want to bring
Right.
harm.
I could
We
find a
don't
way to
want
hide
leave
or
you
something.
stranded.
That'd be the best option. But if we do on this adventure, we can promise you we won't run away out of our own volition.
What's that mean?
We'll disappear, and a lot of times when we disappear, people think we ran away. It's just like, what else are they gonna believe? We just disappeared.
Oh,
We
so
only-
you're saying if you guys just go, then I should, you didn't actually leave. I'll just wait.
Yes. Probably show up. Could be a day, could be 2 days, could be 3 weeks. We'd never know.
Well, I can bring extra rations. I mean, that'll be small fry stuff, right?
Especially if we make it big.
We just want you to be prepared.
You know what we could do? I don't know about everybody here, but I've talked to some of the other guys, and, they might be finished after this job too. Maybe we could get, a few more people.
You could definitely get some numbers so you're safe out by yourself. Certainly ease my mind. I
Could
don't
we-
enjoy seeing young people die. Too unfortunate circumstances.
Like this, looking at like Jesse and to our group.
But could we trust that many people with our secret?
Likely not.
Well, BP, it's not like they're going to kill us. Again, to most people, it's just a myth. However, knowing the myth makes people treat you differently.
But we saw those hunters back near Hill's Crest.
Well, You could tell him there's some other reason, right? Like maybe some magical thing going on? Like, whenever, sometimes you turn invisible or something, you know? Well, I don't know if we need to bring them. I'm just saying. The good news is that you guys are gonna do this with me. We're gonna be so rich.
So rich.
He raises a hand for a high five.
High five with my gun.
Sick. He high fives your gun and we go to a 5-10 minute break.
Wow.
Wow.
Sick.
It stops in midair too. We jump and high five and it's in the sunset.
Yeah, down.
Don't you
Forget about me.
don't.
Beautiful. There's a song I need to download. I need to get just a 10-second clip of like bow bow for any time people high five.
That's how every midway pause has to.
Mm-hmm. Alright, I'm gonna heat up some tea. Everyone take a bathroom break or whatever. We'll be back and we'll start in like 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Yo, so we're probably gonna like maybe die in this place, right?
Probably, maybe.
I return.
Hey, Lucian, do you know how far out your house is, like, in fucking Minecraft? Like, coordinate-wise? Like, 10,000?
7,000 roughly. It's like
Okay,
6
that's-
by 8 or something. 6,000, 8,000.
That's not that bad. Talking with Relic, he's going to set up the mod in Minecraft, and he's going to port the old world, so everybody still keeps their houses.
Mm-hmm.
But, as we've said before, to get the new biomes and shit, because the world gen, the biomes will be completely different. There'll be like a defined line where it changes, and the new world gen, the new biomes look so much better in vanilla.
You have any screenshots? Or any pictures?
Fuck, I can
Links.
log into a solo and take a picture real quick.
Is there like a link to the mod so you can just kind of look at the? Because I know most
You
of
can
the
go
time
look
they have
at
pictures.
the. Yeah. Oh, let me go open one.
I'm back.
Welcome back, Sarah. We're chilling for a brief minute here. Are you around, Baller? Okay, Baller's still grabbing stuff.
While it's still dead.
Still dead.
It appears Kratos is in our party now.
Would you have Kratos now?
Cool character. I'm a little not excited that it's still like the same person though, because now he's still linked to my backstory.
He's
Oh.
different. It's fine.
I'm back.
Okay.
World gen.
Man, this kid's gonna die, by the way.
What? Bassum's a
Bass-
level 7 fighter.
He's level 20.
Yeah, guys, let's go. Casts level 9 meteor shower. Oh!
Oh, you'll be fine.
Come on, guys, I need your help. Help me. Meteor.
Casts power word kill on one of the ghosts.
You were dead before, but now you're more dead. Ain't never
7
been so
arrows
dead
go
as a
through
ghost.
his brain. Ow, that hurt! Let's keep going, guys.
That was a big boo-boo.
That was like a measly 7 damage, just a mere flesh wound. Yeah, I'm not gonna find very many pictures in the mod pack, just doing world gen.
Alright, well, when you get
It's
them,
like-
just post them. I
Yeah.
want to see.
I'll get them and send some to you.
I want new sexy snow biomes.
We'll see if I can find. It's like the world gen is more realistic.
Right.
So rather than having just like a mountain, just like a 6 block by 6 block pillar going into the fucking sky or something, it actually curves up and slopes like mountains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some
Stuff.
stuff that the gen does okay, and then there's other things where it's like, what the fuck are you smoking, Minecraft?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, we're good to go here. Let's see. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Nice.
I do think. Everybody's here.
Okay. So, you guys have had a little chat there with this character, and after a inspiring high five, have continued on during your travels. I need someone to make a luck roll to see if you guys hit Soulsland without complication.
Nat 20. 12.
Okay. There's a
Only
couple
2
of
dragons.
there's a couple of scares here and there where guards notice tracks and you come over and look at them and everything and realize there's been beasts in the area, and you even find what looks like evidence of bandit attacks. While you're going through the Heartland Hills, you find corpses laying by the road that have been, ransacked with just like torn clothing and all their valuables gone, that kind of thing. It's a little grim, but none of that seems to be your problem. And the Caravan Master calls for you to keep going, and day after day you pass by until eventually reaching the city of Soulsland. Emerging out of the Kozilski forest, you guys spend a couple of days traveling through the plains until coming up towards the magical capital of the world. Here, way down the road, over towards a large sort of like coastal beach, there is a singular city that is just, it's got like a completely ringed wall that goes in a perfect circle around it, and at its center is just this massive spire that shoots up multiple stories into the air, and it's unbelievably picturesque with all the wheat kind of flowing back and forth compared to what you would normally see. Other cities kind of look ramshackle in the way that they're built, whereas this is almost purposeful, like somebody built all of this in a day.
Ah, Sozund, it's been a long time.
How long since you've been back, old man?
It's been a few years since I set out to find my apprentice.
Now we got more information, though. Sure, we'll be able to find him now.
Well, dimensional travel is not the easiest of subjects, but I am optimistic.
Now, as you approach and come up towards the doors there, the gates practically hum with a magical energy. And you would be familiar with this, of course, Draken. You know that the city and all of its wizardry is incredibly cautious of who it is that they allow in and who they allow out. And the wizards that live here run everything. It's not like a standard city where maybe the nobles have a lot of sway or there's some sort of monarch or anything like that. The High Council of Mages runs everything, make no mistake, and everybody here knows it. Now, when you're approaching, there's a number of people that are watching you from up on the towers nearby and from the overhang of the wall there. When you come up, the caravan master calls out to one of them, and they have a short kind of conversation there. And then a few guards wander around holding wands in their hands and seem to kind of cast spells while walking through your group. Do you guys do anything?
Pretty normal to me. Been here plenty of times.
Okay. You're familiar with what they're doing. You know that they're casting like detection spells, trying to make sure that nothing strange is afoot here. Detect magic is something that you see. You see another one that you're not quite familiar with, some other sort of detection spell, but they go through and do a whole bunch of these and then eventually turn to each other and, give the nod, and the huge gates open up and you guys are able to step inside. Now, when you head into the city, on the other side of the wall, it looks more or less like an ordinary city with like a whole bunch of, kind of winding roads and, kids here and there and merchants chatting with each other by the roadside and different tradesmen working noisily from their shops. It seems to be a bustle, and you guys are pulling into here on the in the middle of the afternoon. So you have most of the day to yourself.
If I've been counting right, are we on the 20th?
You were 7 days, let's see, 3, so 10, plus, no, 29th.
Okay, I'm way off.
Yeah, you've done a lot of traveling.
We're dry out of rations.
Yeah.
Oh boy. We some hungry boys now.
So you guys go through a ton of food and everything, and finally make it into the city, and Bassam runs up to you guys and he goes, "Alright, well..."
Fuck?
Huh?
My fucking Discord just shit itself.
Oh, okay. Bassam runs up to your group and he goes, "Alright, well, we're gonna keep going, and when I get paid, this is the tavern that I like to go to, so you guys can come get me then when we're about to head out. And, I'll wait there until you guys come and get me for this, okay?"
Will do.
Sweet. And he looks like all jittery and excited and goes running off, and the caravan master turns to you at one point and says, "Well, boys, this is it."
Thank you for taking us on the ride, good sir.
He gives you a nod. And then after that, he kind of holds up his hand in like a sort of semi-goodbye, and the group continues off into the city, leaving you guys just kind of close to the shops that are near the gate as the large 2 doors close behind you. What do you want to do?
Is there like any really big buildings of landmark, or do I feel like this is Hillcrest all over again?
Big buildings of landmark. What do you mean?
Like, is there like a giant spire, or is there like...
Yeah, so at the very center of the city, there is a massive tower, absolutely huge tower, that just kind of shoots up. If you look at it from over here, if you had to guess, it's probably like 200 feet tall.
Does the city
enter the Imperial City from fucking Oblivion?
Yeah, it's kind of shaped like that, although the stone's not nearly as white and pretty.
Does it kind of like, as you get closer to the middle, it's more rich, or is it just kind of whatever?
So, looking around immediately, the spot that you're in seems to be pretty standard fare, but you can see that further off in the distance, there's like nicer houses, mansions that have multiple stories to them, and there's clearly some poor and some rich parts of the city that you can sort of pick off in the distance just by rooftops. But over here, everything seems pretty normal. It looks like you're in like a middle-income kind of area with a few shops. The standard, tavern right by the gate, which is very common for most cities you can see nearby.
What was the tavern this guy liked to go to?
The name of it is... it says Nosy's Tavern.
Nosy's Tavern.
And it's got a little address there so you guys can find it.
So,
We're finally here.
do you have a house here, Draken? Do you want to stop by?
I wouldn't mind stopping at the cloister. I used to research in. I might be able to get some information there, too.
What is the cloister?
It's fucking basically a library. We'll go with that.
Oh, maybe more hunting books.
You might, depending on which one.
Now, if there is one thing that's a little bit different here, other than the massive tower, which is bigger than anything you've ever seen before, is that there are red-robed wizards that wander up and down the roads, and you don't see anyone that looks like a guard. Instead, you see what looks like mages that kind of take their place. It looks as though all of the security here is magical, as opposed to men with chainmail and swords, which is the standard around the world.
So, Draken, what's with the, how do they guard this place?
Mages guard this city. The Inquisition does most of the work. If you ever come across a wizard who's not using magic for good purposes, they'll usually come and hunt you down. They're not people to mess with. I can assure you, they're stronger than most of your standard guards.
The Inquisition?
Have I heard of this?
I would say so, yeah. The 5 major factions are very common knowledge, and the Inquisition is based out of Soulsland. So you've probably heard like a thing or two about it, even though you've only been around for a while.
I haven't heard the best things about them.
Well, they can be very brutal, but so long as you don't misuse magic, you won't ever have to worry about them. Thieves who employ magic in the lake are generally hunted to the ends of the earth. They have to change continents to get away from them.
Don't you think they would know where Garen was?
What's his name?
Garen.
Garen. Yeah,
It's Garen?
Yeah, it's Garen.
Don't you think they would know where Garen is then?
They have been looking for him. He's more of in the employment of a god now. Rather difficult to track down people employed by gods.
Maybe they have more information. But
It's
yeah.
possible.
You going to do anything in Solsland, Jesse?
Well, we have all this money. We should probably restock on rations and do our routine stuff, I guess.
How much money do you guys have?
I have 166 gold.
Damn.
Wow.
It's pretty good. How
And
about the
we're
rest of you
still the
guys?
poorest.
All my money's with him.
All
I
of
have
my
six-
money's with him.
Yeah,
I've-
everyone just dumped their money on
Right.
because
Least likely to have it
thieves
stolen.
can't. Whatever. Yeah.
Ah.
Maybe you can pick up stuff and some other stuff.
And I'll give him a nudge.
What? Like cocaine?
You know, some free stuff.
I look to Draken to see if that's even remotely a good idea.
Not recommend it here. Not at all.
Of any city I could think of, I would not think of the wizard magical city to steal from. That does not seem smart.
But it's free. Okay, yeah, I understand.
I could die for free. They'll cast meteor shower on me.
You won't have to worry about that unless they're a part of the council. If you steal from the council, there's no saving you. So please don't.
But I
If you have
am
any
always
shopping
thinking
you want to do, I can tell you where my cloister was. We can meet up later, or we can just go now. Up to you.
I still have the red chalk inside me, right?
You do.
maybe we can have a wizard here look at it and tell us what it actually is. Or it's just actual chalk and it's nothing, but I don't actually know.
You might have a better chance going south to Valu.
While you guys are
Understand
talking
more
here
about
up
the
at
nature
these
spirits.
shops, you're kind of clustered around the main gate there, and you guys notice something. Walking towards your group is a set of individuals who are wearing what looks to be a combination between the somewhat red robes that are pretty common here with the guard, and also armor kind of layered over top of it. And they have all a insignia on them. There's like a necklace that they're wearing that has a pointed star on it. And all of them look like they're armed to the teeth. And as they kind of move between the crowd, one of them looks towards you, and the group starts moving in your direction.
Who are they, you reckon?
The members of the Inquisition. They're heavily armed ones, too.
Why they, don't think we did any.
I shouldn't have any reason to be approaching us.
The group of 6 closes in on you. And as they do, you can see that people kind of like, cast a glance and look at you from a safe distance further down the street, like there's something going on. The same way that people kind of watch like the wreckage of a car crash. And one of them steps up and says, Draken Cade,
That is my name, yes.
we've been expecting you.
Oh, goodness.
Are these your retinue?
Yes.
Then I trust you'll all come with, and won't put up a fuss for interrogations.
What is this for?
Silence! Draken,
We are the Spanish Inquisition. Our main
Oh, I
weapons...
didn't expect this.
No one does.
that is quite common.
Oh, sure. It's never
Did-
been a good idea to resist. Only causes problems.
This
Oh,
member
having-
gives you a nod and then does a turn, like a very military, like swift 180, and then they start marching back down the street. Do you guys follow?
Yeah. While we're walking,
Draken, what did you do?
I haven't done anything.
Maybe this is for your apprentice.
It might be. That's the best guess I have right now.
Sweats.
Unless
Sweats.
Now look, Jesse, if they cast any weird spells on you, just be honest.
I can't help but feel like that's not gonna end well.
Well, if you lie and they cast weird spells on you, it won't end well either.
We can hear you just fine up here.
Ah, it'll be fine. Again, I trust the Inquisition. Why would I hide anything from you?
Yeah, the Inquisition seem like great and honest people.
This Jesse character does not seem so honest. Are you hiding something from us, young man? And the whole group stops and they turn and look at you.
Oh my
Oh.
god, it's actually the Spanish Inquisition.
All I did was sweat, guys. Come on, why'd you do this to me?
One of them walks over and he makes a check here.
He had a rather turbulent past. He's been in good.
Yeah,
company.
fuck you.
He narrows his eyes, looking at you. He brings his face like 2 inches away from yours.
Oh, isn't that
Yes,
funny in my
Jesse
divination?
has been my best friend since I was, well, first created. He's a good guy.
Very well. And then he turns and they start walking.
What a pompous little shit.
Are you thinking that right now?
I think it. I don't say it.
Okay.
Oh.
I can read your mind, you know.
Now, as you guys go wandering off, you quickly realize, wandering through the streets here, that you're headed for the tower.
Is this a good sign or a bad sign, Draken?
What do they do in the tower?
The Eldritch Tower is the most important magical building for humans. It is where all of the latest research happens. It's where all of the major academia is located. The most powerful spells, the oldest of scrolls, the most... Yeah, all the casters of the highest variety are found in there. And on top of that, the Inquisition has an office there, and that's where they're run out of.
They have a court there.
It's literally their base is somewhere in the tower. So the tower has a lot of functions, but one of its, some of its floors are dedicated just to the Inquisition.
Oh, BP, it seems we're going to their office.
Yay.
Is that an enthusiastic yay?
They can read it as they wish.
One of them squints his eyes at you.
Do I see any other simulacrum in the streets?
Oh, interesting. No, you don't. It's the first city you've been to since Yule. You're way far away from home. You've traveled a ton here. We've done a lot of fast traveling, but it's been days and days and days. And you haven't seen another simulacrum. You've seen pictures and heard about them, but still have yet to see another one other than yourself. Now, getting up towards this large tower, there's a set of circular gates around it, and behind the gate and the fence, there is a beautiful garden that seems to lead up in a plaza towards this large tower. And at this gate, you see what looks like a set of even more intimidating guards in red robes, and they take a moment to kind of open things up and speak with the Inquisition members, and soon you're wandering through this garden. Now, when you guys finally get up towards the doors of the tower, a couple of Inquisition members open them up and motion for you guys to step inside into what looks like a hall that is shaped completely circular, and there's different statues of numerous figures all around the room standing there.
Do I recognize any of the statues?
Do I recognize the statue?
Draken, you would. Given that you lived here, you know that a lot of these statues are famous magisters who have come and gone throughout the years. And, most of these figures are beyond your recognition. In fact, some of them are kind of like lost to time. Their image has been put down here, but so long has passed that much of their accomplishments have been forgotten. Whereas others, yeah, you're familiar with them. You see a statue of, for instance, like the wizard that, what was it? You see like a statue of Leomund, for example, who came up with like Leomund's tiny hut, that kind of thing.
What the fuck? Why does my Discord keep doing that?
Are you having trouble?
See a statue of Leomund cut off for a second.
Right, so like the named spells and whatnot? Like a couple of those wizards are here. In statuesque form.
These are all wizards who made great contributions to the arcane. Worthy of respect.
As for you, BP, you have no idea who any of these people are. Now, is Discord kill?
No.
Okay.
No.
The group walks over towards the center of the room and beckons that you follow. Do you go with?
Right, they want us in the center of the room, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. When you guys reach the center, suddenly there's a darkness that overtakes you. And when the darkness fades away, you realize that you and the others here are all in some sort of large room of some kind. No longer is it this hall with the statues, but it's like a busy office. A bunch of tables everywhere. You see different Inquisition members that are going through papers and whatnot. You see others that look like they're like taking care of weapons. It's this huge hall with a whole bunch of busy activity. And the group leads you down the way past a bunch of these desks, and one of them opens up a little side door on one of the walls, and you see what looks kind of like an interrogation cell in there. And at the very back of it is a single chair that looks like it has a bunch of like manacle restraints attached to it and whatnot, like metallic bands to hold your arms down and stuff. And they motion for you guys to go inside.
All in the same cell?
Mm-hmm.
Walk in.
So when are you going to tell us what this is about?
Very soon.
Does it have something to do with my apprentice?
They said you'd be senile by now, Dragon. It's good to see you still remember some things. Yes, we have questions about Garen.
Yes. I had some questions too. It's been rather hard to track down, and I finally got a clue.
We were worried that you would not be aligned with the way Solsland does things after all these years. It's good to see somebody that is at least calm to an interrogation.
Well, I haven't done anything particularly wrong, so unless you're charging me for my apprentices' misdeeds, I don't really have anything to fear.
I've heard rumor that's a possibility. This interrogation will see if that's necessary. Do you guys step inside?
I do without any issues.
Okay.
I mean, what? Like, I'm gonna fight against the Inquisition in their home base?
Well, I don't know. Somebody might. I just need to know if that's the case.
I've only done that in a couple of campaigns, and this ain't one of them.
Okay.
I take out my gun and pop one.
I ain't playing no dwarf this game.
Now,
Or no demon.
you guys pile into this room, and when you get into the room, you see that they close the door, and you hear the sound of a lock close. And while you guys are in that room, a voice kind of just like beams in through the rock and speaks to you guys. And it doesn't sound like the same member from before. Instead, some other member of the Inquisition must be talking to you, or maybe some other entity altogether. It's tough to know. There's no actual window in this room. There's just like a little lantern that burns in the back. Otherwise, it's just like a completely closed cell of just stone and a wooden door and this chair. And the voice starts and says, Draken Cade.
Yes, sir.
Please identify your companions.
This one is BP, a simulacrum made by orcs in Hillcrest.
Very
This
well.
is Jesse Friedman, if I remember
Yes.
his last name correctly. He's also from Hillcrest. Apparently worked as a servant for BP's family. This
Very
one is
well.
Jesus. He was a traveling companion of mine back in my younger days.
Understood. Do you know why it is you've been brought to this interrogation?
I assume it has something to do with my apprentice. Can't think of anything I've done personally.
That is correct. Garen is wanted for multiple accounts of theft from the tower. Are you aware of these charges?
I am. That's why I set out in the first place.
Please clarify why you set out.
My apprentice, who I was responsible for, stole many things from Soulsland, including something precious to me. I set out to track him down and retrieve the goods and return him to Soulsland, so that he may be charged for his misdeeds.
Please wait.
I love the fucking like the waiting hold phone music plays.
Do you guys chit chat at all?
BP jives up and down as the musical plays.
Rattles his trash can body like a fucking rocket.
By jive, I mean he just goes from his suppressors going up and then down.
I've returned. Our records show this may be correct. We have determined at this time that you are not lying.
I actually returned here to Soulsland because I had information as to where he might have gone. I have a sketch of a ritual he used to travel to a different plane, but I could not identify where. Figured the best place to learn of this ritual would be here, home in Soulsland.
Please wait.
Baller?
Yeah.
Where's my music? BP continues to suppress up and then down.
I've returned. Please place what relevant information on the ritual you have on the ground by the door.
Alright, I will place the sketch of the ritual. I'll also make sure it's noted that one of the fucking missing pieces is a quadrupedal animal, probably around the size of a rabbit. Second one's like a gem, something rectangular like a gem. The third one's possibly an herb. I'll also include the alchemy book. That's slightly water damage now.
Placing ritual information as Exhibit A, and you hear like a poof as a sudden blast of smoke causes all these items by the door to just disappear. Please wait.
BP continues to suppress up and then down. Ba-doop boop. Boop boop. Boop ba-doop boop. Boop boop.
When the music finishes, the voice that comes back is not the same. You hear somebody else, and they seem quite different to who you were speaking to before. Draken, are you there?
Yes. How is it?
Good, good. I'm looking over some of these files here, and It's come to my attention that we may be able to work together. I've come to strike a deal, if it would interest you.
If it has to do with finding my apprentice, I'd be most interested.
The Inquisition is keenly interested in this. I believe we could work together to accomplish some mutual goals. What is it exactly that you're searching after Garen for? It is, of course, required that we know what it is he has of yours, to add to the list for his crimes.
He has a magical gemstone that was placed in this book I received from my cloister here. It works as an index so that I can look through all my research notes from years of study.
I see. Do you believe this book would be, required to be added for, Exhibit B, or is it, secondary to the case?
Well, aside from him stealing the gem, it doesn't really have much to do with my apprentice. This is just my life's research.
Understood. You can keep the book for now. Let's see. Record that down. That's a magical gem. Can you describe it to me? Color, size?
I'll look at my backstory and see if I have anything on that.
Sure. If you don't, then you can come up with it on the fly and write it down.
I'll just come up with it on the fly. It'll be fine.
Sure.
There's a magical pearl about an inch around. It fits right into this socket, about halfway in. It gave almost a red shine when put up against light.
Red shine. Perfect. Okay. A value for this gem?
Oh, it was a gift from the cloister. You could probably find an exact value from them, but probably in the thousands.
An estimation is fine. 3,000? 4,000?
I'd say around 3,000.
Sure.
A very peculiar spell on it, but it's just an enchanted pearl.
You can practically hear what sounds like somebody scribing down onto parchment. He says, "Very well. This ritual information is interesting, to say the least. I'd like to share with you what information we have on Garen in turn for your cooperation. This ritual looks very relevant to finding him. Recently, or not recently, sorry, back when Garen first disappeared, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but he exited the city using a particular ritual, one that seems similar to this."
That would explain why it was so hard to find him.
Indeed. The complication is, we've attempted to reverse engineer from what we were able to take from the scene, and it seems that he took a random direction. To cover his... Sorry, go ahead.
I found a hideout of his up near Hillcrest. That's where we found this ritual. If you have any local maps of that area, I can most certainly point out to where it was.
There's a poof of smoke, and you see a floating map appear in front of you. Could you mark down where that was?
Okay, I will mark down where it was using the local maps we had, as a reference.
Sure.
I think I still have the map on me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can give that too.
Okay.
I'll saunter over and lay down the map and where the poof smoke goes.
Sure. It's swallowed up. Okay, thank you very much. Let's see. Exhibit B. Location of hideout.
Sorry, there may be a bunch of blood on that map.
That's perfectly fine. We keep it in a contamination-free zone. The plot thickens. It seems Garen must have survived wherever it was that he went to in order to make it back. I doubt he had this hideout ahead of time. Did it seem quite lived in?
That seemed like he had been there up until maybe even a week before we arrived.
I think he left.
He left many potions. The burn marks and the ritual and the candles were still lit, weren't they, BP?
I think he left right as soon as we opened the door.
What evidence do you have that he left so close to your arrival? This would change things.
All of the gems and potions, some of them were still running. There was a fire gem still active.
His alchemy equipment was still running, still brewing. He didn't seem to take anything with him, and if I recall right, the candles on the ritual were still lit.
Did you leave evidence of having been there?
Yes.
Most certainly. Won't deny that. We're looking for clues.
Can you turn the recorder off for a moment? Draken,
Yes?
what did you take from the hideout?
I took the crystal for the alchemy set. I believe we took 6 potions. We
4
took
books.
4 books. One of them was the alchemy book. 4 books. BP has one of them. The other 3 were ruined in the water due to some other circumstances.
And his alchemy book.
And the alchemy book that I just presented you. We also took a sack of gold. I think there was roughly, 50 gold under his bed?
That sounds right, I don't remember.
Very well. Turn the recording back on. Draken, the initial location that Garen took has been eluding us. Because of the randomness of his ritual and the fact that he took one completely on chance, we can now say for sure that he's not dead. This case has been a cold case for quite some time. But with you back and this interrogation going the way it is, it seems he's still at large, and therefore the Inquisition can exact justice on him and possibly recover some of what he's taken from the tower.
I feel like I've reported this, but in case it wasn't written down or my memory is escaping me, he showed signs in his room of worship to Jacob, which would definitely suit all the randomness you're finding.
Very well. We'll put that down. Now, I'm going to take this ritual information and see what we can find with it. Chances are the tower will be able to discover something. Do you intend to continue pursuing Garen?
Well, here's my responsibility. I feel terrible if I just end up croaking while you're still at large.
Very well. Excuse me for a moment.
Baller.
What?
It's time for our phone music.
Do you guys talk about anything while this guy disappears? He seems to go for like a few minutes.
I'm sorry about this.
Very strange.
Well, it's been very strange circumstances. Surprised they didn't know about a lot of this. Could have sworn I reported it. It's not like you could just leave the city after a theft.
I like give him a good nudge.
Sweats.
A bunch of red lights start flashing in the room.
You have been reported. This was a setup the whole time.
We've got you red-handed, smirking about a theft. You need no more proof. The Inquisition knows of your deeds.
Well, maybe we're gonna have to take that trip to the shadow area, ruin, whatever. Maybe we're gonna have to put that on hold.
Might have to. Could also take a while for them to process this information, but they're generally pretty quick about it.
Yeah, the Inquisition worked the fastest and most efficiently.
I mean, they caught us right as we entered the city. Word travels fast.
Was that voice that was talking to me familiar at all?
Oh, make a history check.
Tab into this. You know what? I'm gonna give it that 20 I rolled.
Oh, the 20 you rolled?
Yep, I have a 20 on that. Taking a 20 on my history, so 25.
The voice sounds incredibly familiar, and you're fairly certain that who you're talking to is a grown-up version of one of the once young Inquisition members back when you used to live in town. And is, you know, like, was previously kind of one of the clerks that you had to talk to once or twice. You don't remember his name, but you remember his voice, and you can tell even after all these years, oh my god, that's him, just after, you know, like 15 years later.
Interesting.
Now, seated here for a while, after making that show of saying the Inquisition works efficiently and fast, you guys sit here for like another 10 minutes in the room.
Hey, look, man, we could be sitting here for hours.
It's like,
Hey, just
What
don't
is-
put me on the phone with fucking Microsoft or Time Warner or something. Like, I'd rather be on the phone with these guys.
If we hear an Indian guy's voice into the room, it's all ogre.
Evict, eject, run away.
are like the doors still locked?
Yes.
So, Jesus, how's traveling in the new getup, I suppose?
I feel more free without the constraints of my armor.
That's a good thing we sold it then.
Indeed.
You ever figure out what that chalk was for?
Ah. I would say that you know exactly what the chalk is for, but you can't exactly tell them.
Yes.
What?
And he's not allowed to know because he's not allowed to tell.
Now, after a while, eventually the voice comes back here and says, Draken, are you there? It's the same one from before.
Where have you been these past 15 years?
Seriously? I didn't think you'd remember me.
I remember your voice. I'm a bit fuzzy on the name, but I do remember you used to work as a cleric. A clerk.
No, that's right. Monvel. Monvel's the name.
Monville. Ah, yes, I remember now. You were such a good boy back then.
Well, I've moved up a bit. That's true. Listen, the ritual information that you gave, we're gonna have to hold on to the book, unfortunately. You understand how things are.
Oh, that's fine. It was Garen's book anyways.
But
I talked to the Mages Guild in Hillcrest, and they said all the recipes in it were strange. But I'm not proficient in alchemy myself.
yes, it's not exactly my forte. I have some people looking over it, but they estimate that they'll know where this ritual portal goes to, likely within a few hours. Their times are sometimes off, but working fast here, they should be able to narrow it down. So it's only a matter of time. The thing I have to ask, though, is once we know, Inquisition members are going to be headed after Garen in order to recover what's been
Oh
lost.
my god, they're actually the Inquisition? What the fuck?
Yes. They're literally the Inquisition.
Now, I have it on file here that you are a great soul, and that the rest of your companions here are as well. It'll be difficult to work with Inquisition members in the field because of this. That being said, if you still wish to pursue Garen, so long as you don't get in the way of our forces, that's perfectly all right, and I can put it down here that you're a side group freelancing, and that you might be able to help out along the way. Does that sound amicable?
Do we
Sounds
get
fine
paid?
to me. I would never dream of asking to be paid to catch my own apprentice.
Okay, but do we get paid?
There is a considerable bounty placed on his head. It would go to the Inquisition. If you happen to bring in Garen instead of our squad, which would be sent after him, then you would be entitled to a portion of it, yes. Now, it will, of course... there is a reward for Garen himself, though that is measly. Most of the rewards are for the items. We're not certain if he's used them or lost them, but there's a fair amount of coin to be made if you can return those.
May we have a list?
I cannot actually disclose to you exactly what it is that he's taken. There's roughly a dozen items on this list, and the majority of them are classified. The 3 that aren't total up to 18,000 gold, though.
So basically, if we catch him, all goods he has go return to Soulsland, and then we can sort out what is and is not on the list.
That would be appreciated. And if there's... well, you understand how the Inquisition is. If there's anything missing from the list, you're going to end up in this cell again, so... you're going to want to work closely with them.
Understood.
Now, when we finish this portal, and have discovered where it goes to, of course, it should only be a few hours. Do you intend to go through immediately? Or will you be constructing the ritual on your own? We can give you instructions on how to use it, though those documents will be classified, and if they end up in anybody's hands, people who aren't supposed to read it, you will have to be put to death.
As expected.
Sorry, I feel callous saying that, Draken. It's been a lot of years since I was a clerk.
I know how the Inquisition operates. I can't have somebody using this ritual later on to steal again.
I'm glad you understand. You have no idea how many people I have to
It's a tough job.
with. Yeah, and ram it into their skulls.
So...
I'll defer to my party on this. I would like to leave immediately, but we did have a prior engagement.
Certainly. Here, there's actually quite a bit of paperwork I have to deal with. I'll be back in a moment.
So... I mean, the prior engagement isn't for till we skip. So... I'm okay with heading into this place. Although, if we don't know what the place is, we may have to go to Silver again. Also, he may not be in this new plane. He may have went to it and then jumped out.
We have no guarantee that... well, it's a small dimension.
Nice pun.
Fuck.
Guarantee. See, I read about that in this book. Okay, continue.
Fuck off. Alright, well, it's up to the party. I would like to go immediately, but if you wish to take the detour, it's up to you. I will not force you. Jesse, Jesus.
I'm down to hunt Garen, but I'm also down for the treasure as well. But
Well,
Garen sounds like it'll give us more monies, so we should do that.
remember, it's not 18,000 gold we get. It's that they're worth 18,000. We get paid a cut.
You get paid a bounty.
It's quite a cut from quite a large amount of quantity of gold.
Certainly the bounty's that much, but yes.
Hopefully we beat the other... Well,
We have to work with them, BP.
I want to catch them, but, reward our way,
I would certainly like to get to him first, to have more than just a handful of words for the boy.
Or we can go die at some ruins with a 19-year-old kid.
Who wants
After,
to...
Jesse, after.
We could tell him we'll be going on a journey, but if he's going to be in town for a few months...
Well,
I don't know how long... Traveling to a different plane, we don't know if the plane will be small or large. We could be traveling to the plane of fire, for God's sake.
what if it's like, alright,
Do I know any of the other planes? Probably not, right? I was
No.
told like about the real world, and that was about it.
Yeah, I would say given your age, you don't really know. You've heard there's other planes, but you don't even really have the ability to conceptualize that.
what if there's a plane, the bullets? That would be my favorite plane.
I don't
Yes.
really know. Maybe you'd enjoy a bullet hell plane, maybe not. We'll have to find out when we get there.
Lo and behold, this becomes a bullet hell game. BP's got the worst fucking character for it because he can't do deck saves. He can't jump.
I would not be too good at this game.
No.
So it's like we're all in accord of jumping in. Right,
Haven't
Jesus?
heard any word from Jesus version 2.
Jesus 2.0. Nature Boogaloo.
I wonder if he's got a Windows update processing.
Oh,
Right, he's dead.
Jesus.
Yes. I'm very bored with these processions.
Well,
Asking you your opinion on jumping through a portal to another plane.
you wanna jump in?
Right now.
Well, in like a few hours when they finish it, we're gonna be hunting down Garen.
If that is where you wish to go, I will follow you, though I must advise that this will likely result in the deaths of one or more of us.
We'll be going with the Inquisition, so safety in numbers.
Good amount of backup. But a large amount of gold in the process.
A good amount of backup. Perhaps.
I am certainly not in favor of putting the party's lives at risk.
Out of our
That's
own
why I'm
fault.
asking you if it's your decision. I'll defer to yours.
You follow me when I made a decision that went against the lives of the group. And if it is your choice to go through with this, I will follow you.
I'd appreciate that. It's become my life's purpose to find the boy.
The voice returns as the music ends.
Shut the fuck up!
So, where'd you get that track?
Draken, are you there?
Yes.
It appears the wizards are done synthesizing the ritual.
Well,
And
that was fast.
yes, things have. Well, I had anticipated at least that Garen would be traveling to some sort of fell plane. I wasn't involved in this case, obviously, given our age difference back then. But from what I've read of the papers, this doesn't make a lot of sense. He's traveled to a small demiplane. It's not very well known, known as Samaria. It's a heavenly plane for the god of summer. Does that have any significance for you? He was your assistant, after all.
Is this going to be one of those things that you just know from my background that I don't know from my background?
I would know that you don't know.
Okay.
I don't recall anything to do with this. That's a strange place for him to go.
Was he a worshipper of the summer god, or...
Do I know anything about who he worshipped before he worshipped Jacob?
You think that he was not a worshipper at all until you had seen that hideout. You had no evidence of Garen worshipping any gods.
He seemed like an atheist before, Jacob came into his life.
Well,
So, no.
this plane certainly has nothing to do with Jacob, but I've been told that the portal can be fashioned now, and... well, it looks like a team has already been assembled. They're going to travel through the portal any minute now in search of Garen. If you wish, I can have a portal set up for your group as well, but there's no telling what we'll find on the other side.
I see. Well, we have agreed to go through, but we do have someone we need to inform of our change in plans.
Well, I don't think he needs to know right this moment. He
Are
was
you
waiting for a
talking
long
about
time.
that child who seeks treasure in caves? Let him lie with his ambition.
I'd
I
feel
agree.
better if he at least knew. Is there any way we could get a messenger to pass along something to a person?
Is that person within the city?
Yes,
Yep.
he'll be staying at a certain tavern.
Nosy's Tavern.
I'm familiar. Who is this that we're sending a message to?
A young boy named Baxon.
Fair
There's
enough.
a guard on a caravan, just came off the job. Tell him we'll probably not be back in time. Certain things have come up.
Will be a while.
Let me see here. Nope, we've located him.
Hell yeah.
Magic.
A paper shows up in a poof of smoke there. You can write whatever note you wish to put down there, and we'll send it to him. It doesn't seem like
Right.
he's terribly busy right now.
Write down. Do we
Yeah,
want
guys.
BP to write it, or am I writing it?
BP, do you wish to write this, or should I?
My handwriting has never been the best. With one hand and all.
Alright. We'll have to work on that
Just
later on. Get your
smashing the
studies
gun
going.
barrel on the paper.
He just shoots the fucking.
And lo and behold, after it's done being shot, it's perfect.
There's
It's
just like
perfectly written there.
a little paragraph of the most beautiful cursive writing you've ever seen.
What did you say to me, you little bitch?
Oh, probably right.
And the air basin, due to circumstances, will actually not be able to join you. We don't know when we'll be back in the city. Could be a week, could be months. Do not wait for us. Signed, Drakencade, BP, Jesse, and Jesus V2.
Nature Boogaloo.
The paper is taken. Alright, just a moment here. He's reading it.
Fuck, dude, this is some Russian shit.
Yeah, that's
Spying
you
on us
from here,
everywhere.
guys.
Alright, it's done. Is there anything else that you need finished in the city before this?
Do you,
Will we be supplied any rations? We're a bit low on
Any-
food from the journey.
As well
Inquisition
as,
stores are not available to non-members, and
We have money to purchase.
I may be able to requisition something. Give me a moment.
VP continues to suppress up and down.
This time he's shot his arms out like a plane is doing.
I'm just T-posing.
After a minute, the voice returns. I've managed to secure a small amount. Do you have any idea how many rations you'll be needing?
We don't know how many days we'll be out there, but I've heard the Plain of Summer is pretty hospitable.
It should be. A good portion of it is said to be garden, though there are portions of Samaria which haven't been explored, so there's no telling exactly what you'll find. Do you think 20 rations would be enough?
Ah, yes, 5 days rations should be plenty.
do you have any extra bullets on hand?
A stack of rations appear, and the voice calls to you there, BP, and says, sorry, BP, was it?
Yep.
There does not appear to be much in terms of munitions. We could offer you arrows or crossbow bolts, but the bullets are safeguarded here.
I'll take some arrows.
2 quivers of arrows, so 40 more arrows appear.
No,
I'm liking this. This is the most hospitable fucking jail cell I've ever been in.
Gas starts to fill the room. Dioxazine.
Is there any of that filet mignon?
I've always want.
Yes! You got any of those? You got any? Maybe you got some of these laying around. You got any big titty bitches?
Baby
Suddenly
back
the old
rips.
Can I get
The old Mexican version of Jesus has returned.
Number 9
Okay.
large.
one number 9, a number 9 large, 2 number 9s.
With extra dip.
You could also use some fried watermelon.
Lord, why? Now, the 2 quivers of arrows there, accompanied by all the rations. I assume BP, your empty storage components, are now filled with these 20 rations. The voice continues. Well, once you reach the other side, the portal will be maintained from here. So if you can find your way back, you should be able to return.
I see.
Given
Any way to stay in communication with the Inquisition, in case we find anything?
across the plains, no, unfortunately not. And I can't connect you to the squad, which has apparently gone through the portal already. They operate in a closed state system. There's no way to get you sending stones.
Fair enough.
You may run into them, though, and we've informed them of your group and your details. If they run into you, they should help and be hospitable.
Shall we
Very well,
go then?
sounds fine. Seems like we're ready.
Very well. Draken, it was good to see you again. I'm glad you're doing well.
I haven't really been able to see you, but it's been nice hearing you again. I'd offer you a handshake if I could.
Perhaps I'll...
Mage 10 appears in the middle of the room.
There's a poof and just like a disembodied bloody hand.
Just flops down onto the ground.
You can shake that if you want.
Screaming.
Shut up,
It
Jim.
was worth it.
You agreed to be an intern.
Perhaps I'll see you when you return. Hopefully the hunt goes well.
Not looking to die until matters have been settled.
With that, you can feel a sort of energy that leaves the room, almost like there's a faint hum that sort of clicks off. And then after that, the door clicks and opens up, and you see what looks like a somewhat impatient Inquisition member there. And it looks like he's staring at like a clock across the room, and then turns towards you guys when the door opens, and he goes, "Very well. Are you finished?"
To the portal.
"I have been informed. Let us go, then."
Righto.
He leads you down the hall, and away from this very busy area, you soon end up in a much more quiet hallway. And after a doorway or two, you eventually end up in a large room that has a couple of tables on one side that look to have different magical reagents. And at the center of the room, there's a group of wizards that are talking, and they're having some small chat with each other. And right behind them is this portal that's just like humming and buzzing with energy. The whole thing is probably about 10 feet tall, shaped like an oval, and the sides of it radiate like the image that you see there warbles, much like when there's heat kind of rising off of the road on like a really, really bad summer day. It looks like that. The whole thing is just like a kind of like a yellowish peach color changing back and forth. One of the wizards looks over and says, "You're headed through the portal, are you?"
That we are.
To Samaria.
"There's no going back after this point. Are you prepared?"
I was told the portal would still be open if we could make our way back. Is that misinformation?
The other one kind of like hits him and is like, "Of course they can get back. Sorry, my mistake. You should be able to come back anytime."
I like insight.
Please.
Yeah.
Anytime. My mistake. You won't die.
Don't be chanked, you motherfucker. That was gonna be a 20.
It's close.
A 13.
Okay.
Oh,
Fucking, it's still a 9. Okay, that's like 19 plus what, 3? 22, I think? Maybe more?
Both of you think
Oh,
that
fucking 24.
the guy who's talking to you is like a lot of magisters, kind of past his years, you know? Like when Draken says your name wrong, it's sort of like that. This guy is probably rather skilled, but he's getting on in years. You don't think that you're actually going to be locked out from the body language of the other wizards. You should be okay.
Okay.
what the fuck, John?
You can't just say that to people before they go in a portal. Well, are you headed through then?
That we are.
Yep. So, do I just jump in? Do I?
Keep your legs and arms close as you travel through the portal.
Keep them within the portal at all times.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Alright, let's go.
And I will jump through the portal like a spry old man. Probably break my back on the other side.
In a flash of white light that is almost blinding, Draken disappears past the film of the portal.
BP puts all of his limbs as close to possible and shuffles in.
You're moving like 1 inch at a time.
I'll shove him in.
The wizard looks to you. Thank you, that was taking a while. Is it lunchtime yet? And next up, Jesus and Jesse. Are you headed in?
Yeah, no, I follow right
Right after. Okay.
Yeah.
If we TPK, can we play an Inquisition squad?
Nobody chose their faction, so I don't...
It's so fucking... I'm really enjoying this down.
Are you going in, Jesus?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Kind of lean your head down slightly.
Watch him be like, no. I'll go into the death arena.
Turns to the wizard. Okay, so you step past, and then in another blinding flash of light, you're gone. And it's interesting, as you travel through here, you can see further up ahead what looks like Jesse there, and he's like tumbling through some sort of spectral tunnel through like a blinding light space where you see galaxies kind of like panning past you and like stars and planets. And you guys are all just going through this wormhole-like thing. And near the end, there's this blinding light, and when you shoot through there, there's a sort of loud clap, and first one through is you, Draken.
Do I fall on my back because I jumped through it awkwardly?
No, you manage to catch yourself and step out into what looks like a beautiful summer landscape. You land on what looks like a bunch of like sort of dry grass that's starting to wilt from the heat, and all around you you see like
What?
huh? What?
Oh, my bad.
Okay. You see there's like a grove of trees off in the distance that look like they have like apples growing from them. You see what looks like a huge mountain off like further into the landscape there. It's like some sort of weird, just random portion of nature that you've gone to. The one thing that's really quite different about it though is that the sun is like remarkably larger than you remember it being. Instead of like being this, you know, maybe coin-sized circle in the sky, it's like, it's huge. It dwarfs. It's so large that if you look at the horizon from one side of it to the other, it probably takes up like half of what you see. Like it, you know, when you
Where the fuck are our complimentary sunglasses? I think we're going to need those.
Right, yeah, it looks like just broiling fire. You see what looks like liquid flame almost like lick off and then kind of like melts back into it. The whole thing is just kind of exploding constantly. You can almost hear it just as like a distant rumble that kind of like comes and goes. And every now and then you see like a pock that sort of explodes and hear just like a dull sort of pop noise. And it's really something to behold. It's not at the horizon right now, it's actually much closer above you, and it gives you kind of that feeling of when you see an object that's so large that you get almost like height sick, you know, like when you look over like the edge of something and your like stomach kind of pulls up. It's like that when you look at it.
Just the rough vertigo of everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god.
Now after that, there's a and you see that BP just like smashes into the ground and does like a trash can roll into the grass here, and then shortly after, Jesse steps out, and then and then Jesus as well.
I'm gonna have Mage Hand like just using like as a visor on
Sure.
my head.
For land, what do
What's that?
what's our terrain? I guess.
There's a forest that looks like it's just a huge grove of apple trees. And then you see a mountainous range off in the distance. Where you are right now is some kind of plains. And the other thing that you see, the third attraction, is what looks like a large city with like white buildings. For those of you who have traveled, so probably Draken, for you, it looks sort of like Aurelium with like their bleached stone buildings and everything. But it's clearly some sort of godly architecture.
Is there tracks on the ground?
Oh. Make a survival check.
Uh, 19.
Oh, nice. You see that there are tracks on the ground, and they are not human. What you pick out looking there is insectoid. You see like little pinpricks in the ground, very common for insect-like creatures.
Do I see the previous scouting party at all?
Oh. Somebody roll luck, please.
I will.
BB's the one, you know, looking.
That's a D8.
Nope, that's a D8. I was very zoomed out, alright? No bully. Nope. Two.
You don't see them, but as you look around, you can see that there is a second portal way off in the distance. It's probably like 200 or 300 feet away, but there's another portal there, just sitting there. It looks identical to the one behind you. So you're just in this field with these two portals. You don't really know where they went to. And given how far away both the mountains, the forest, like the apple trees, and the city are, they must have traveled fast, whichever direction it was they went in. Or they're perhaps invisible or something.
Let's go
Like-
to the city.
Carefully remember where the fuck this portal is.
Sure.
Take in the surroundings.
Let's see here. You could start a map, perhaps.
Do I have a blank sheet of paper on me? I don't think so.
Does anyone have parchment?
No.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, I have the backside of the wanted posters for the leaders.
Could do that.
Oh.
Oh, I forgot about this. Here's some paper, but I was supposed to ask Jesse if he knew any of those guys.
Yeah, I see a couple of faces. I have no idea if I actually do. I just guess.
This is the wanted people from back in Hillcrest during
Yeah,
the whole...
yeah.
Jesse...
Am I on there?
Let's see here.
It says gang leaders, so unless he runs a gang.
Oh.
You only see one person you recognize, or sorry, not person, but like a gang name that you recognize. Back when you were first kind of on the street and whatnot, there were a couple of groups that, you know, tried to recruit you and whatnot, and you just were sort of in the petty thievery to get by. And so you never took them up on their offer, but you do recognize one as being like one of the groups that you're aware of that was operating in the city. You don't know any of the members personally, but you know, I guess that those people don't exist anymore.
All right. Do they have a name, or is it just?
They are.
miscellaneous gang name I can make up?
Yeah, more or less.
Sick.
What's the gang name then, Andrew?
Sweats.
I'm looking forward to this.
Now there's so much pressure.
Yeah, now you actually have a piece of lore in the world. What is it? Well, I guess you also fucked over all of Hillcrest.
We'll call them the Black Arm Gang.
Well, that's fucking racist, but okay.
Okay, it doesn't have to be racist.
Can somebody call Spike Lee?
What the fuck's wrong with you, dude?
Now, while you're standing there, this is the basic map, right? Just to kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on. So you have the 2 portals, and then these are the main 3 things that you see. So you got like the city there, you've got the mountains, and then you have this orchard. It looks like it's probably going to take you like an hour or 2 to travel to any of them. So in a day, you could, in theory, like do the big circle around the whole place.
Is it, were they like proposing that he's somewhere near here?
Well, he went into this portal. So
Oh,
wherever it
this
was...
Is, this is a carbon copy of his portal?
Yeah, so wherever it was that he left that alchemy spot, like, he came here.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys are, like, you're on his tail. You're in the thick of it now.
Gretchen, where do you think he would have gone?
Well,
We
knowing
found him. We found him near the coast before, the forest area, but within some rocks.
he would have had to have gone to the city first. If we were right and he left in a rush, he would have had to procure, rations or something, and tools.
Well,
Best to go into the city and ask. Check some alchemy shops.
okay.
Assuming there are alchemy shops here.
Well, Bucket, we'll operate faster.
Can we start running then? Double our
Well,
pace.
I look at your legs, and I look at my back, and I question whether we should be running.
Well, not running, but let's pick up the pace.
Alright. Ah, my back!
After 2 steps.
Alright! Foot doesn't even land on the ground. Ah!
I think I popped out. Ah!
Do the city then.
Okay. You guys travel off towards the city. And as you do so, the magical nature of this plane of existence suddenly becomes quite apparent. It doesn't take you more than a few minutes to travel to the city, even though from your previous vantage point it looked incredibly far away, an hour's long of walking. You just look over there and start to move, and then seamlessly you're in front of the city gates. You don't know if time has been compressed, or if maybe your travel has been messed with, or if there's an illusion that represents itself, but you're in front of the gates. The gates are massive. They're huge. The walls of the city go up so high that it's like they were trying to keep giants out of the place, and you're completely dwarfed by this. It's like to break the fourth wall entering into like a Dark Souls map.
Oh, okay.
Where like the steps are just colossal, and it's
Yeah.
like no human was meant to use those. It's like that.
Okay.
Now, as you come up to it, it doesn't look like there's anybody around at all. What do you want to do?
Do I... I'll go up and knock on the gate.
Allow. Everybody started knocking. You get a knock, and you get a knock, and you get a knock, and look under your seat. It's somebody at the door.
I picture this like 4 autistic people just run up to the door and start pounding on it instantly. So you walk up, BP, and you tap on the door, or rather you go to do so, but before you can get there, a figure appears and like comes out through the doorway like there's nothing there and just phases past, and you see what looks like an 8-foot tall, lanky insectoid creature that phases through the gate and stares down at you.
Hello?
Its mandibles move back and forth, and its antennae kind of twitch for a second there. It makes motions with its hands and arms, and strange clicking noises. It's standing about 10 feet away from you. As this is happening and you're kind of frozen, not sure what to do, another one appears by the gate and walks out towards you. And then another one.
Can I cast Comprehend Languages?
Oh, sure. That lets you comprehend any language, right? Just for yourself?
Yep, but I can't speak it.
Right. You can understand. When you finish that spell there, you hear one of them goes, "Human, you come. Why?" Or not human, sorry. It says machine.
Do you speak common?
The thing just makes these weird clicking noises. It waves one of its arms. You wonder if it means to attack you.
What does it say on my end?
And to translate, it says, "Machine, useless. Assume form," and then turns over towards one of the other bugs, and the other one looks at him and goes, "Will attempt." And then just kind of pauses for a second, and you watch as one of the insects there steps back beyond the gate, just moving straight through the wood. And then after that, you see what looks like a trash can comes out from the other side of the gate, and it looks like a perfect metal cylinder, basically, with like a little lid on top. And then in place of where there would be legs, there's instead like 2 wheels. And right on the center of it is what looks like a drawing of a face. And the thing kind of like wheels out, and because there's only 2 wheels, it has to stop, so then it like slowly turns and then wheels straight towards you, BP, and it stops like just in front of you. And you see like the other insects are standing nearby, and there's something about their nature as they're there watching this interaction that seems incredibly curious. With no need of insight check, it's like you're not sure if violence is around the corner, but they seem keenly interested in what's happening. Like they're kind of studying things. And the can in front of you starts speaking common. There's no mouth moving or anything, but you hear what sounds like a voice that echoes from inside. So it's got this very sort of like, well, basically if someone was talking to you with a bucket on their head. And it says, "Why come?"
Oh, hello. Looking for another human. Seem to go to this plane.
Seek human?
Yep. Seek human. Human has, Draken, what does the human have?
His blonde hair, lightly colored hair. He's about 6 feet tall, so about the size of Jesse over there, and he has gray eyes.
Seek human, blonde hair, with gray eyes.
The can shakes back and forth. What is blonde? What is hair?
Jesse, what color is your hair color?
Brown.
Right, I look at Jesse, I point at his hair, and then I point to the color of the wilting grass.
That is hair, that is blonde.
Yep.
Hair that looks like that.
Does it only communicate to me, or does it pick up what they're saying?
No, it looks at your companions and then kind of turns back to you and says, "Blonde is ground. Look for ground human."
No.
We are not making much progress.
No.
They've never interacted with humans before.
Do you know color?
That's a good question, Kane. More trash can bot thing.
no
Has
things.
another one.
The thing kind of like it shakes back and forth. No things. Color is.
Okay.
Is.
Forget everything else that we have said so far. Has another one who looks like this, and I'll point at Jesse, another type of creature like this shown up here?
Ah. Seek human. 1.
Seek human one.
Yes.
Yes. 1 human.
Going to have to teach these insects how to do finger
Yes,
guns, and then more
you
lives will be
have
complete.
seen
Human.
one human.
Human in city. Human in mountain. Human in forest.
The thing kind of like starts to turn around and then faces over towards the gate and says, "Human here, 1." And then it kind of like turns back to you.
Will you take us to him?
Is the human...
It starts to turn and then it wheels back over, and when it wheels back, it goes over towards the gate and just melds past the gate. And then instead of seeing that thing come back, you see what looks like one of the insect creatures that step back out, and it moves towards the group, and they seem to be speaking hush hush. And while they're talking there,
Listen in.
they're very animate, and despite the fact that their noises are beyond your hearing, you can understand a portion of it, Draken, because the movements of their arms and antenna seems to be a portion of the language, and just by looking at them, you can tell what it is that they're saying. And the gist of the conversation is that, you know, it relays that you guys are looking for 1 human, and then the others say, let them in, basically. And then there seems to be a problem with trust, and they seem to be looking at your group every now and then around this topic and discerning what to do next. And eventually one of them kind of walks away, and then this trash can comes back to you and wheels out to you, BP. And when it comes back to you, it says, "Trade."
What do the rations in my chest consist of?
I'd say probably like dried meat, you know. It's like pemmican, I'd imagine. You know, like fats and
Salted
meats,
jerky.
berries and stuff.
Salted whale blubber.
Do you eat meat?
We eat meat.
I'll put 10 rations in, or I put them in the robot. I open up the trash can, put 10 rations.
Trash can, but the trash can doesn't open.
It'll be fine, Andrew.
Yeah, we can move around this place in 1 day.
There's apple trees everywhere.
The thing turns around and then disappears beyond the gate, and then what comes back is an insect that has all of your rations in his arms. And the others look like super interested, and they all gather around it in a huddle. One of them's kind of holding it. One pulls off a piece of like the wrapper and is like waving it in the air like a little flag. Another one is like holding it maybe like a centimeter away from its eye, like these huge insectoid what do you call those? God. What are the name for those eyes that, they have like the little lenses all over them? What's that term? Fuck.
That
Fuck
escapes
me.
me.
Come on, schoolboy.
That's some 7th grade bio stuff, dude.
Oh, I should know what that is.
Wait, what are we looking for?
What's
The special eyes that like
That bugs
grasshoppers
have.
have, or bees have.
I don't want to look it up, but I want to know what it is.
Hexagon many eye. That's the term.
No, there's something else for it. There's gotta be.
Omatidia?
Okay, well, we'll check it later.
Oh, Matidia!
Oh my titties.
So, it's staring these over, and then one does like the bold, takes the ration and actually grabs at it with his mandibles. And I want somebody to roll luck to see if they actually like your food.
The more classic name would be a compound eye.
That's it. Compound eye. Yep.
Look,
No.
Trace.
Yaakov!
Oh, he doesn't like the food.
You see
What if
one of them
the other-
goes and like munches at it, and then just like throws it on the ground, and you understand that he says, "Not meat."
What? Does the other one like it, or do they all hate it?
You see that some of them take like smaller nibbles, and then they also kind of like recoil from it. And then one of them disappears beyond the gate, and the machine comes back, and it goes, trade. And you see it kind of like leans forward, and the top pops up so that you can like go inside.
That I can go inside?
Yeah, so you can like reach in there.
Oh, okay. I thought it wanted like.
the rest of the rations in there.
When you look inside, there's a single rock.
What?
Okay.
Can I pick up the rock?
Sure, you take the rock. It looks like a little gray boulder that you'd find anywhere. When you take that, it pauses and it leans back and it goes, trade again.
Do we have
Give
any?
it the rope.
More trade.
Give it the rope.
I don't have.
Give it the red chalk.
No, I want to keep that though. I put
While
up-
you're
I put
thinking there, it goes, machine, trade, human, 1 of 2.
No.
Oh God.
These are good humans.
Machine, have meat, human meat.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Maybe it's time to go.
I don't think you got in this city, guys.
No,
I mean, perhaps we should exhaust some other areas before we commit to this.
Do not understand. Exhaust.
Can we maybe come back another time?
Back. Return.
trade later.
Return another day.
Return trade. Yes?
No. Return us another day. For trade.
For return. Trade.
What?
Yes.
No,
Agreement?
no.
We leave. Come back another time.
Give him my bedroll if it'll fucking make him go away.
Try it, dude. Try and trade the bedroll. Fuck it.
We just gave them half of our food.
There are apples everywhere. We'll be fine.
They didn't like it. Give them
Um,
something to play with, for fuck's sakes.
Can we just run?
I feel like they could kill us at any moment.
That is an option. You could just try to piece the fuck out.
No, I'm not gonna run.
Alright. Robot.
Yes, I am machine.
Machine. 2 humans. Big human. Leave. Come
Why?
back. To return another time.
To get something to trade.
No, have something to trade. Find trade. Bring trade back. Give trade.
No trade. Return trade.
Yes.
Yes. Agreement?
Agreement.
I'm gonna take 2 steps away and make sure Jesse's closer.
The thing just turns around and then disappears beyond the gate. And after that, the other ones, they seem to make a bunch of gestures over. And Draken, you understand them as one of them says, later. 4, return. And then they just turn and leave.
Okay.
And they
Alright,
disappear
so it
past the
looks
gate.
It looks like
Okay.
they understood us.
We're going to the mountain.
To the
We're
mountain.
gonna go to the motherfucking mountaintop.
You guys turn to go, and we will end the session there.
Jesus fuck.
Bugs.
Machine, return.
Oof.
Boy, oh boy, do I love how they just made a copy of me.
Fucking trash can with
Of all the
wheels.
fucking things to make a copy of, it's fucking BP.
I like how I just imagined a trash can with a little piece of paper taped to it with a smiley face on it.
It's basically what it was.
I like how we're on like a time race, time crunch, and we just spent 10 minutes talking to these fucking bug people.
I like to think that the Inquisition's like invisible nearby. Like, what the fuck are they doing? No, trade. Ah, fuck.
Dude, I really want to play an Inquisition squad now. That sounded so
Inquisition squad sounds fun, and just be a bunch of roaming anti-mages.
Well, you kind of are playing a squad right now in a weird way. Just, you know, from
fun.
different
Weird
beginnings.
way. But it's
But-
not like official.
It's true. It's
Like
true.
unofficial.
We all joined the Inquisition, hell yeah.
Now, anyway, I'd like to thank you, players. I thought that was a rather interesting session, and I hope you enjoyed yourselves. To the audience, always good to have you. To the patrons, couldn't do it without you. We will see you next week for some more D&D. Until then, adios.
Bye.
Bye, have a good time.
There we go. You guys made it. Nobody died. Congratulations.
Nice, we
I
did
never
it.
got to ask how hot it was.
It's like a warm summer's day, so right now it's kind of
Like 90
it's
degrees?
uncomfortable, but the fact that you can travel in like 2 seconds, it seems, will probably help.
You want to tell me a warm summer day is like fucking 80 degrees Fahrenheit?
I'm from Texas, man. Your hot isn't as hot as my hot.
I actually think it was like, what, 90 degrees, 95 degrees today? I went outside and it's fucking awful.
Whew.
How do you feel playing Kratos? Nice. Me too.
Yeah, it was 95 degrees today. Holy shit.
Me too.
It was hot.
That was a much more pleasant D&D session. No death.
We did get thrown into jail upon entering a city, but it was fine.
So what is this fuckery with my dreams?
Yeah, we have the Green Lantern and the Exorcist on our party at the same time.
Alright, gonna kill stream now. Bye, stream.